Cool. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Brad the Bard, and today I have the Incredible Hulk of BJJ alongside me here, and we are in his amazing studio, Studio84, his academy for American Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. And a giant shout out to the man up here sponsoring the show, Vidinian. If you guys like sci-fi and horror and all sorts of creative writing, check out his website, link in the description. So what's up, man? Let's talk turkey, baby.
Yeah,
I heard you're doing some crazy things coming up here with competition and stuff. Do you want to kind of touch on that?
Yeah, so we had two guys compete last night, Justin Pack and Steve. I'm going to sabotage his last name. Joachim, something like that.
Nice.
They're Jay's guys primarily from South
at Fight
Jersey,
to Win,
BJJ.
right?
Yeah, but they had matches in Fight to Win last night. Both of them were very successful. Justin's match was back and forth, very technical. He ended up submitting the guy towards the end.
Nice.
I think about a minute and a half left, something like that. Then Steve won his match in like 30 seconds.
Oh man,
Did
both
a little
submission
system
wins.
of stuff that Jay had kind of had asked him to do and things like that. So it was just cool seeing them up there representing the Studio84 name. I can't take credit for their full style or anything. That's Jay's brought them up with South Jersey BJJ, Professor Bongiorno and things like that. But it's just cool having them training here now a lot with us and, getting that movement going. Jay promoted Steve to purple belt as well, right on the stage, so that was cool.
That's awesome.
That was fun, man. I saw his smile cheek to cheek, so that's just really cool, man. It's really, really well deserved. The guy is such a hard worker, man. All of them.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, myself, John, and Brittany will be competing on the Subverse team. I think it's October 31st for Fight to Win, so in 2 weeks. We're doing a little team thing. So myself, John Combs, he's the other head instructor, BJJ instructor here. And then the weekend after November, I'm going to sabotage this. But I never heard of this city before until now, but it's Balneário Camboriú. It's like a beach city, beautiful city in Brazil, but that's November 7th for Copa Podio.
Yeah, you were telling me
we each
about
have
that.
matches, and if we're successful, which
That's the plan.
certainly will be, then we get advanced into the middle. I go into the middleweight Grand Prix, and John will go into the lightweight Grand Prix.
That's epic.
So,
who's your match against?
This is horrible too. I can't remember his name at the moment. I should know. Maybe Tatiana will get it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Like going into competition, I never want to know the dude's
Yeah,
name.
I sent the information to Jay. Honestly.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, Jay Regalbuttle is he's an amazing coach. He's just a wizard with this stuff.
Yeah.
And
he teaches here at Studio 84.
Jay Regalbuttle teaches our pro comp classes. So he teaches Wednesday night and Saturday night. Wednesday night and Saturday morning. So anytime I've had a big match the past couple years, I kind of send him the stuff. And Jay, what do you think? I didn't bother to look at this guy's pictures really. I sent Tatiana a picture of him just so that she saw, but he's this big jacked monster.
Yeah.
They raised the weight and all that. So I'm already pretty much at weight.
Yeah.
And he'll easily be probably cutting like 15, 20 pounds. He looks like a really big guy. He's a black belt. He's been a black belt for a long time. He's won World's Pans, the South American Nationals. He's competed a lot. I just can't remember his name.
Yeah. And he's a native from Brazil.
He trains with Leandro Lowe, he has some at the Brotherhood Academy in Brazil there. But anyway, I sent it to Jay, and I just said, dude, do your thing, and he sent it back, and we had our words, and that was it. But I can't remember his name, so it's all right.
No, it's all right.
But it'll be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it.
So how many times have you been
I don't think they gave John
there?
an opponent yet, actually.
Oh, really?
No.
That's
so this was just finalized on Friday.
Oh,
so,
shit.
I was going
Last
back and
minute.
forth with Jefferson Micah. Or Misa, he owns the event, or is a co-owner or whatever. So we just finally finalized this on Friday. So I think they're supposed to be getting his opponent yesterday or today. And with the event we had here yesterday and John being a ref at Fight to Win, we didn't get a chance to talk. So I don't know if they sent each other anything yet.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything. So,
Yeah.
But they'll probably have him an opponent today or tomorrow or something like that.
That's cool. So how many times have you been to Brazil?
I spend about 3 months a year in Brazil.
Oh, shit,
Sometimes
dude.
4 months a year. Yeah. The most I've ever spent there is close to like 5 months in 1 year. So I'm back and forth there a lot, but I'm primarily in the northern end. I don't really like hop around the country anymore. I've been to more places in Brazil probably than I've been into America, but I primarily stay in the northern end, in the city of Manaus. It's a very poor area. I like it.
Yeah.
They call Manaus, if you look up like on I don't know, YouTube or any videos, they call it the gateway to the Amazon. So it's like, I mean, it's a city that was built in the rainforest.
Oh, wow.
They just cleared all the stuff out of the way, the land and everything else. And if you ever see the thing on like National Geographic or anything like that, it's called the Meetings of the Water. So it's where I'm gonna sabotage this. I think it's the Rio Negro and the Rio Roosevelt come and meet and form the Amazon River. But in that thing on like Animal Planet where it shows the black water and the brown water just running side to side and they never mix, that's literally right outside where I stay.
Wow,
and
dude.
so people come from all over the world just to see that, and I could literally see it from my loft. Like it's right there, you know?
That's epic.
But it's cool. But that's where I pretty much spend all of my time now. I really don't leave Manaus. Maybe we'll go like to Fortaleza or Jericoacoara, like, or something like that for like a little vacay or just to visit a beach or something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I stay pretty much my whole time there. I like it there. It's not like a touristy vacation area.
Yeah.
You know, I like
You're
to,
living with the locals.
Yeah, man. Like when I travel, I'm not too much of like my girlfriend Tatiana will tell you, I'm not much of like go all do the sightseeing. I like to like relax, settle in, but especially like in another country outside of a resort, like I want to really like melt.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of like see what the city's really like.
Yeah.
Not like the mini America version.
Yeah,
Does that make
dude,
sense?
100%.
You know what I mean?
I have family in Puerto Rico, and
Yeah.
dude, I'm the same way. Like, I want to go stay with my like grandparents, and they
Yeah.
live in the rainforest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
they get their water from a pipe that's
There you
tapped into
go.
the
Yeah,
mountain. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want to experience like the real Puerto Rican experience. I don't want to go to San Juan. I mean, I do. Like, there's fun stuff to do, but I know like the thing I enjoy the most is going and picking my breakfast off the tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the people listening or a lot of jiu-jitsu people do know. The other reason I really like it, obviously, is because of jiu-jitsu. So if you look up like the history of Manaus, it's almost like the birthplace of jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
It's super, super old school. There is just academies everywhere, all over the place. It's not a money thing over there. Mm-hmm. Everybody has an academy, but nobody really pays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It's
there
just
is
a way
some
of life
successful
almost.
academies.
Yeah.
Sanji Ribeiro has an academy there, and they're from there. So guys like Jacare, the Ribeiros, Jose Aldo, they're all from Manaus.
Yeah.
But they have a good amount of students who have trained at that academy many times. But 90% of the other academies, they're everywhere. Like there could be an academy here where we're sitting right now, and at the end of the shopping plaza or 5 favelas down, there's another academy. And so they call them an academy, but it's really just like an open concrete building with metal bars for a door, and it's puzzle mats on the ground.
Yeah.
At most. Sometimes they have blankets on concrete.
Oh, Jesus,
And
bro.
there's adults just slamming each other all around, but it's super technical gi jiu-jitsu. I say this all the time, and it's kind of weird, but I'm like, there's so much talent there that the world will never know because they're very poor. You know what I mean? There is some real world beaters there, from white all the way to black, that are just super tough.
Yeah.
May not even be like the most technical, but that grit of training, you're exposed to the
they're just
elements.
hard. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's 100 degrees, humid every day, no air conditioning, no heating, and you're training in it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no controlled climates or nothing. So, like, when we first go there, I'm dying.
Yeah, your cardio
My
is
first
like
week
nothing
of training,
compared.
you're overheating. You're sweating 5 times more than you are here. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's out. There's nothing fun about it. But once I settle in, I like it. You know what I mean?
100%.
And those guys are used to it every day. And they're like, Karingo Mohe, like the white guy's dying. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. Like, where's my air conditioning? You know what I mean?
For sure.
But the guys are super technical. No gi, not so much at all.
Yeah.
But in the gi, they're really like on another level. And it was really cool. I shared something on Facebook probably like a year ago. It was either Flow Grappling or like the Jiu-Jitsu Times. It was like a very well-known website and group. They did an article about Manaus. And I remember sharing it, and I shared it with Jay and everybody. I'm like, because I've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And they're like, is Manaus the? I'm not getting exactly right, but it was along the lines of, it's like, you know, is Manaus the Dagestan of jiu-jitsu? Because, you know, it's only been, what, 5 years since Dagestan for MMA has really taken off.
Yeah.
And you have all these guys coming out of there that just grew up training in the mountains and beating each other up and this and that. And it's a different level of toughness. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
It's the same thing over there, man. Because the level, I think, as of summer of 2019, like, you could look this up. It was like 4, 6, 7, I don't know, of the top 10 ranked. It was either teens or like purple belts or something like that, are all from Manaus. And then there's a lot of other guys as well, you know what I mean? But like this new wave that's coming too, it's from there, you know? And the
you're
toughness
saying
there. And I wish
gi,
like...
They don't do so much no-gi there, though?
They don't do much no-gi. No. So in no-gi, I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm teaching everybody stuff, and I really don't have a problem. In the gi, it's hell for me, man. It's really bad, you know? I have to... I don't know. I have to revert to different stuff and just slow the game down and body lock them and just grit it out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because they're all over, man. They're fast. They're grips. It's just a different level of gi jiu-jitsu, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
Compared to your average academy, let me just say that. You know what I mean? Obviously, we have high-level guys everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
But your average purple belt, your average brown belt, they're head, man. They're super tough.
It's just
you know?
integrated in their culture.
That's
like
it,
you were
man.
saying,
And jiu-jitsu there, like we have that saying we all know, like jiu-jitsu is a way of life.
Yes.
It really is there. I mean, everybody knows what jiu-jitsu is there. Everybody. I've been to Rio, I've been to Sao Paulo, Curitiba, Minas Gerais. I've been all over Brazil. There's nothing like Manaus in the jiu-jitsu community. There's nothing like it. It's literally a way of life. Everybody trains. Everybody knows what it is. And there's academies. I know I sound like a broken record, but they're everywhere. They're literally across the street from each other.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like Starbucks.
It's a way of life, man. Everybody trains jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's just jiu-jitsu events, competitions. It's everybody trains. It's seriously a way of life there. It's all they know.
Yeah.
And again, it's very, 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 very poor. You know,
Yeah.
so they don't have a lot to do. School's not really like mandated. They're supposed to go, but it's like only 4 days a week, and it's like from 12 to 4, so everybody can sleep in and do whatever. You know what I mean? So what do the kids do? They go to jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? It really is a way of life there. I love it. I'll train like 4 times a day there.
Oh, geez.
You know what I mean? You just finish training and walk down the block and go train somewhere else. You know, it's pretty cool.
So you're saying also like it's like the gateway of the Amazon.
Yeah.
And I've seen like all over your Instagram, like you're literally like a monster hunter over here.
Yeah.
I've seen you have some amazing
so you want me to tell you about the
Please,
Amazon thing?
All right, I want to know like your crazy stories.
All right,
give me,
cool.
give
I'm
me
gonna
like
go
a
into
top
like a
10 or
little
something.
tangent thing here,
Yeah,
whatever
let's
you
go.
call it. So I'll tell you how I first got started into it. So it's even actually how I got introduced to Manaus, because I had been to Brazil many times before that, but I never went to Manaus, nor would I ever thought of. Most of us know that show River Monsters with Jeremy Wade, right? So I'm a big aquarist, or I have a lot of aquariums at home. I probably said that word wrong, right? But I've always been obsessed with like fish from the Amazon, like big red-tailed catfish and stuff like that, and I would buy them in a pet store, and they would get too big, and I have to donate them somewhere. And I remember reading like books and watching YouTube videos of these giant fish, and this is back in like early 2000s, you know, throughout the 2000s. That show came out in like 2008. Yeah, actually like 2007, 2008, and I was obsessed with it because I'm like, oh shit, this is like what it's like to go catch them and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting in bed one night, and it's like, I don't know, 2, 3 a.m., and I can't sleep. I'm watching YouTube videos of river monsters, like fishing. And I'm going through, and then I see this one, I don't remember exactly what one it is, but it's called like Bill's, I think it's Bill's Channel or something. This guy has a YouTube thing. And another one, it's called the Amazon Angler. That I know. This guy's name is Steve Townsend.
Yeah.
And he, I started watching the videos, and there's this ad, and it's like, he's doing the same exact stuff. He's fishing, catching these giant catfish in the jungle, and there's this ad, and it has a phone number. So I call it, thinking I'm going to leave a message or something, and the dude answers. So I'm like, oh man, I honestly didn't think you were going to answer the phone. It's like 3 a.m. He's like, oh, I'm in Australia or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's so
or
funny.
Wherever. Or he's in Portugal, I think. So we started talking, and I'm like, I would love to do this. Like, what does it cost? And it's really expensive. I didn't think it would be that much.
Yeah.
But he said, I'll give you a better price. I have a short, whatever, an opening, for the group to go out there. So I went through the information with him. We kind of like quickly agreed on the price, but I had to get a visa. I had to update my visa. I had to get some things, and I had to make it to Brazil in like 2 days.
Oh shit.
So I went to Washington D.C. I went to the Brazilian consulate. I hired this company to help me. I probably shouldn't even say it, but like the guy added me onto his electric bill in D.C. just so I could say I had like a D.C. address to get my stuff going. And long story short, I went there. But in all the videos and stuff as well, they called the Amazon, Manaus, like the gateway to the Amazon. Because really to enter the true Amazon rainforest, you have to go to Manaus. You can get there from like Venezuela, Peru, like many other countries, Guyana, stuff like that. But the heart of the Amazon is in Manaus. So that's how I started going, just because of river monsters.
Yeah.
And watching those YouTube videos randomly, making that phone call, less than like 3 days later, but it's all said and done, I was 500 miles into the Amazon, 500 kilometers north of Guyana, north of Manaus, Brazil.
Yeah.
Closer to Guyana fishing, doing a fishing expedition. And then since then, I've gone like 2-3 times a year. I love it.
Yeah.
Became obsessed with it.
That's epic.
Because you go in there and, man, you just like, it's the only place for me to really turn off my head.
Yeah.
There's no internet. There's no phone. There's nothing, man. And you stay like with legit Indians. They've worked a deal out with them. So we like live off the land. I'll catch fish. I'll cook them. Those guys will hunt. They hunt like paca, tapir, all kinds of animals and stuff like that. I can't kill them. I feel horrible. But when you're starving and you're hungry, like you want to eat them, And then we just fish for 7 days. I usually try to stay for like 2 weeks, so I stay for 14 days. And dude, it's the most peaceful thing ever.
Yeah.
Like literally, you turn your mind off. It's just no cars, airplanes, internet, telephone, Facebook. I mean, nothing. You're just literally in peace all day with nature. I bathe in the river. We set up hammocks and we just go spot to spot to spot. And you saw the fish. We catch like 7-foot giant catfish, big piranhas. We see jaguars, monkeys, everything, man. I have videos, pictures of everything. And then my favorite thing is catching those big anacondas.
Oh, I've seen that, dude. They're crazy.
So they're literally all over the place. And they're just coiled up. And it seems like people are like, oh, how do you hunt them? It seems so crazy. I'm like, dude, it's actually really easy. You would think it'd be hard, but they're all over the banks and on the logs. So all you have to do is literally just kind of be quiet because they will run. Yeah. But you just come up right behind them and just like that video, you crouch down and I grab its head.
Behind the head.
I've never been bit yet, but I don't want to. It is dangerous because that video I have on Instagram. Yeah. You do see when I have it with one hand and I'm trying to move it, it like shakes real quick and I almost got bit. I almost lost it and then I had to grab it with my hand again. That happens all the time. One day I'm going to get bit. But I love catching them, man, because they're literally like 20 feet. That one was about 18 feet in that video.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. But, it looked like it probably weighed like almost what you weigh.
Oh, dude, they weigh like 300 pounds,
That's
350
crazy.
pounds. Because they're solid muscle. Like, they weigh more than me right now. Yeah, they're solid muscle. But it's fun, man. I love that stuff.
Do you have any stories of like getting bit by one of these monsters?
No, I've never been bit by
You're
the
the beast tamer over here.
No, man. I'm pretty good at doing what I do, like catching big turtles and snakes and stuff.
Dude,
so
the turtle
I don't have
many
big scars or Instagram or bites or anything like that. But like the video you saw on Instagram.
Yeah, that was like a snapping turtle.
Yeah,
bro, those will bite your fingers off like clean.
It was right by my house, but my niece came to visit with my older brother from Kansas City. Yeah. So I took her fishing at the little lake, like right behind my house, and I was eating a Slim Jim, and I saw this huge turtle. And, with wildlife and stuff like that, and like that's a weird hobby of mine, but I go turtle hunting.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I can just see them like under the water, but most people can't. And I'm trying to explain to them, like, look, there he is. Yeah. They're like, where? And they think it's a rock or algae or whatever it is. And I'm like, so I started throwing bits of Slim Jim, and the thing was like literally eating them off the ground, and she still couldn't see it. I'm like, fuck it. You saw the video. I literally put the fishing pole down. I was throwing some more Slim Jims in, and I jumped in with my shoes, pants, everything. But it was only like knee deep, you know what I mean? And I jumped in and I just grabbed them from the sides and picked them up, you know? But
yeah, man, I've seen it where like people have grabbed too close to the head and their heads can come out like, over the shell.
That neck is like this long.
You grab like
size.
on the lower half.
Yeah, you got to grab on the lower half. It's easy though. Once you do it enough, it's easy, you know? So, no, I've never been bit by one of those yet either, thank God. I'm going to be nervous next time after talking about this.
that shit's crazy, man.
But it's funny. Even when I first started dating Tatiana, Tatiana's my girlfriend, the love of my life. I brought her, we went turtle hunting, actually like up here. We went up under this like little dam. And it's just funny, like when you first start dating a girl and you want to do something different, let's go get some turtles. No matter how many guys they date or do anything,
I'm gonna need to
nobody's ever done them that.
I need you to give me some
tips.
tips. Yeah, bro. I need more date ideas.
Yeah. She tells all her girlfriends like, "What'd you do today?" "Oh, hell, he took me turtle hunting." They're like, "What the fuck? Didn't you go to get dinner or something?" No, he took me turtle hunting and get ice cream at Tootie's.
That's so awesome, yo. That's amazing.
But it's fun, man. Sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, dude.
I'm so happy.
I'm so happy we went down that road, dude.
But yeah, man. Anyway, that's what they call Manaus. It's the gateway, or the gateway to the Amazon. They call Manaus the gateway to the Amazon. Yeah. Because they have a lot of filmers, National Geographic people, all of that stuff. They have to go and the good ones go to Manaus and exit there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you hunt at all?
I don't, man. So I have it's hard for me to kill anything. Yeah. Like fish, flies. I even try to like push them out the door. You know what I mean? When I'm in the jungle, something clicks. And I hate doing it afterwards. I don't even like talking about it now. But if something clicks, I can kill the fish. Like around here or anything, if I hook a fish and it like gets stuck down his throat, I feel horrible. Dude. I like lose sleep. I don't like it.
He's suffering.
My fish die at my house. I feel horrible. If I lose like a big koi or something, you know, it happens. It's just part of, you know, having them. Yeah. But out there, like when it comes to food and bait, it's just something clicks and then I'm okay. I'm like, I catch them and cut them up and it doesn't bother me. Yeah. However, though, I can't kill the animals. Yeah. I can't
like
even watch the Indians do it. Yeah. No, man, I can't. They'll ask like, hey, you want to go hunt? I'm like, no, dude, I'm good. I'm going to stay here. And then they come back like 30 minutes later. They use arrows, but with like a couple paca or like a capybara or something like that. Yeah. And they gut him up, but I can't do it, man. I think it's because like, at least for me, animals have a personality. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like fish, even though they do too. Like in my aquarium, we name them all. Me and Tatiana, we give them names, and you can see they develop like personalities. They look at you when you go in to feed them and all that, but in the wild they don't. But animals have like real personalities, like feelings, noise. I just can't do it. Man. I can't do it. I couldn't do it a deer. I don't know. Can't do it.
That's interesting. Like I have a special diet that I do. Like I only eat like fresh caught fish or hunted meat. Like I won't eat anything that was farmed, like raised its whole life for people to eat kind of thing. And it's kind of like a similar like thing. Like I want anything that I eat to have like its fair shake in life before, you know.
That's understood. Hell yeah.
So like I'll only eat like sushi. I'm huge on. Like I love to eat sushi. Yeah. And then man.
Oh, you had to say that.
Is there a good sushi? Is there a good sushi spot near here?
Hell no. We're in the sticks out here. For real. Although we might have Studio 84 sushi next door. That brought up a good ass point.
That's epic, dude. Well, dude, that's a great segue, man. Like, let's kind of talk about your studio. Like, we obviously opened the video with like a very brief like look at the gym from like the standing on the mat, basically, like what you would imagine when you walk in the door. How did you come up with the idea to finally, you know, create such a masterpiece of a gym?
Man, so I'll try not to talk too much about it. I'll make it quick, but I'll give you like a rundown. Maybe it's important to start from scratch. So I started training years and years and years ago, and then I made my way to Tom DeBlas. I was still a white belt, and I originally started with a lot more boxing, you know, different things. I have a story on how I got into jiu-jitsu. I was fighting a lot, and I got humbled really bad in some training sessions early in the day. There was this place called like Rhino in Tom's River, and Frankie and them went there and all that. And then I got my ass whooped so bad on the ground, like really bad. I'm like, man, I don't ever want to feel that way again. I want to learn everything. Like, show me what you did to me. So then I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. I made my way to Tom the Bloss's Academy. I became very good friends with him. I worked my way up the ranks, but probably in like, I want to say like 2012, it was after the UFC Macau in China. We talked about opening a school. So we were looking in Manahawk in New Jersey, a second school. It was going to be me, Tom, and I can't remember his last name right now, but I still know if I still see him here. Kyle Kramer. There you go. He's a black one under Tom. We talked about doing this years ago. Like we met with the landlord. We did everything, and it just didn't work out with all of our schedules and everything. So the time had passed. I had told Tom, I said, one day I'm going to open a school and I'll be part of the association regardless. We're going to do it. So fast forward 8 years later, you know, it just made sense for me. Like I built my other businesses up to a point where they're pretty good. Although I'm scaling back a lot, you kind of just get tired of doing the same thing all the time. I think no matter who you are, how much money you make, like it was just time for a change, you know? And this is like, it's a passion for me, this. Like doing my construction stuff and the design stuff is awesome, and I like it, and I'm very good at it, and it's very lucrative. But at the same time, like it doesn't become all about money. You know, like we want to change in life. We strive for things to become different, right? You want to get out of like the routine. Routines are great. We should all have routines. But that same thing all the time, you know, it just gets boring, right? So I'm like, it's officially time for a change. Especially if I want to start a family as well. It's just hard to do it with all the other stuff. It's too many hours. This is more manageable, you know? So the time I really started putting it into fruition was last year. And Cream Ridge, New Jersey, this area was the location that I set because this is a little bit of a higher end area. So a lot of Toll Brothers communities here, you know, $1 million plus homes and this and that. I do a lot of my construction business here. This area needed something, you know, so this was that's why I chose this location. It's unique. There's nothing out here. Yeah, man.
I'll say like the drive in, it seemed like this was like an obvious like thing that stuck out. Like I was like, oh shit, there's like a high quality academy here, and then there's like a Walgreens or something. That's the only other like
dude,
thing
there's nothing really here. People need to go food shopping, do something. They have to drive 20 minutes, you know, 25 minutes. There's just nothing here. They have to go to Hamilton, Toms River, Jackson, Freehold, like this whole area. Cream Ridge, there's nothing here. I love it here. I think it's beautiful here, you know? So this is how I chose a location. As far as the setup, I thought I could do it different than other academies. I've trained all over the world, and I've been to academies, as you know, everywhere, all over the place. And this is no disrespect to any other academy, and this is not to make it come off like I'm better than anybody else, because I'm not. However, like I always see the same theme in academies. Always. We could all agree to that. You know, whether we say it or not, it's visual. You know, we can all agree. It's like blue mats, white walls, little hardwood walkway. You know, hardwood floor, laminate flooring, maybe a couple folding chairs, a desk. Like, it's always the same theme, always. You know, very, very, very few academies ever stuck out. So I knew I have the design knowledge from my other businesses and stuff. I just wanted to make it different. Just like I've made all of my barbershop is very, very, very different. That's a whole nother conversation. The construction stuff, everything that I do is different. My house, my personal house is... Everybody who walks in is like, holy shit. I would never know the inside of this house looks like this from the street. You know what I mean? Because from outside, my house is nothing crazy, you know, but it's inside is really different. So I really wanted to make this, obviously, an academy, but I wanted to make it where people, like, this looks like $1 million home inside. So the way, like, we've decorated the money that I've put in here, the bag track system, the 30-foot granite bar, the color themes, like everything is modern, crisp, like black, white, like a bluey, silverish gray. You know what I mean? And our accents are red. Our chairs, our bar stools, our sanitation tables, the doors, you know, stuff like that. It was just like, I just wanted to make it different. So you feel like, okay, you're going to an academy to train, but you also feel it at home. Like you want the experience here to be different, not just the training. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. I feel like it definitely like right when I walked in the door, I'm like, even if I didn't know you
Yeah.
and knew like that you were gonna, you know, have such quality guys here training at the academy, and I saw you, you know, put up your, was it Ethan Krellinston doing it? You know what I mean? You're having like, you know, world-class athletes doing seminars here and everything, but just walking in the door, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have a cutting-edge experience at this place.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it just feels that way from just walking in.
I just felt, like I said, like I have a lot of knowledge from all the people that I know own academies. I watched them open academies. I watched a lot of things, observed a lot of things, as we should if we're going to go into a business venture. You know, you have to pay attention to your competition and what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I could do it better, not only aesthetically, but I truly feel the business end as well. And we've only been open 2 weeks, but we have more students already than most people accrue inside of a year.
Yeah.
If not more. I mean, I know academies that have been open 5-10 years, and they don't have as many as we have now. Granted, I had a following.
Yeah.
Granted, John are an absolute contribution to that, along with being a Tom DeBlas association.
Yeah.
But not to discredit any of that, it's a lot more to do with how it's set up, how it's run, and when people walk in the door.
Yeah.
Because more than 80% of the people know nothing about everything else. They're brand new at this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they came in and they tried some of the other places, and they walked here, and the story's the same. Man, I like the vibe here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just different. So, and I think I can continue to improve that. Everything we did was different. The setup, we have our own app, the computer system. I mean, the gear. I have several different types of gis, 10 different types of rash guards, shorts. I mean, we did these shirts. I have all typical Jersey style shirts, but all V-neck shirts, 3/4 sleeves. John Combs had no idea what any of that stuff was when he got here. We have a joke now.
That's funny.
But man, we did the amount of gear that we got right off the bat, like 4 different types of bags, everything. We have like our own clothing line.
Well,
everything's branded Studio 84. Even like we have shampoos, body wash,
That's
bath
epic,
bombs, CBD creams, soaps. Everything is branded Studio 84. Even like, you know, I brought these over.
Yeah, definitely.
Like even like that metal business card.
Yeah, that thing stood out to me, man.
When we hand that to people, people are like, dude, that's something that someone will never forget, ever. Do you know what I mean? Every time someone hands someone a business card after that, they're going to remember that. You know, even like our little brochure here, you know, we have the Studio 84, but we have all the instructors' bios listed. You know, I even have like a little questionnaire thing, like what is your goals? How can we help people check this off when they hand it back?
That's awesome.
Stress? Are you looking just for a new hobby, an environment, weight loss, blah, blah, blah? You know what I mean?
So where did you get this made? I have to know about the metal business card.
Dude,
That's
I wish I could tell you. And anyone who wants to know, reach out to Shannon Griffin or Tatiana. This is going to sound horrible. I have a lot of ideas and then visions and things like that, but I'm always so busy that I'll kind of lay things out how I want, and I'll kind of delegate it to certain people. That's what we have to do, so I have to manage my time and everything. So I knew I wanted these, and I knew I wanted it done, and I knew I wanted to look like the card. And I can't take credit for it, though. The only thing I can take credit for is the idea. I had Shannon execute everything along with Tatiana. So a lot of this stuff, like these, Tyson helped us make. You know, I laid it out. I drew it how I wanted to on paper.
Yeah.
And then I had a design person put it together and everything. You know what I mean?
That's epic,
yeah, man. I don't know. I can't take credit for it.
Let me see the brochure. I kind of just want to take a look at it. I haven't looked at it.
So we even made like a welcome guide as well. This is something that I've never seen another academy have. But I know from teaching at places, I won't say where, but I know there was a couple times like we had to have a discussion with the student about cleanliness or whatever it is. We've all been there, you know what I mean? And nobody wants to train with that person or have the smelly person in the academy.
Yeah, nobody wants that guy.
So it's a conversation that can make or break a student staying to train with you. Because when you have to have that conversation with someone, they'll immediately think, maybe everyone thinks they're this person, and someone had to go tell the academy owner, the instructor, obviously relay it back to them. They're ashamed to ever come in here. So I give them these welcome guides, and I kind of make a joke out of it, but I ask them to read through it very thoroughly. And I make it kind of like a comedy break into that topic, to where cut your nails, how to wash your gi. You don't want to be the smelly person in class. You know what I mean? 100%. Stuff like that. So we're giving them that information and trying to avoid it from literally day one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
and
that's,
I kind of
that's
explained it
awesome.
how we just did,
Yeah,
but more
set
professional, but with
the
a little
culture,
comedic
yeah.
aspect behind it as well.
Yeah.
And I think it'll work. We'll see, you know, because, you know, hopefully people will follow it. Do you know what I mean?
If you could describe like the vibe of like your students and like your professors that teach and train here, like what would you say like is like the mentality, the vibe in a few words?
Man, I know it sounds corny, but I'd say like, I mean, there's so many words I can do it, but like, I'd say like funny family.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that makes sense. You know, like I've been to academies as well, and this is great. Again, I'm not trying to discredit anyone at all. Anyone's flow on how they do things.
Yeah, people are looking for different
because there's a
things
lot of people who
everywhere,
like that and may not like the way I do it here. But again, I feel like I've learned so much from other academies and other students talking and stuff that I feel I've heard a lot of things that have been said that didn't cycle back to the academy owners, and it's a shame. Do you know what I mean? As being
100%.
a student in places, in many places, but like I'm not. I don't want people to come up here and feel like they always have to be quiet and line up. And this is like military practice, stand like a soldier, like that stern, structured thing. That's just not my personality.
Yeah.
So if I even tried to go that approach, when people really get to know me, you know, and they see things that I do, like that's not me.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm me here. And I think that's reason. I mean, we've already got crazy amount of feedback about it as well. Like I like to help people, man. Like I'm a friendly person. I'm a talker. I'm personable, you know, so that's my vibe here. And Jay is like that. For those who know Jay Regalbottle, I mean, the way he is outside at these events and at your house in a barbecue is how he is here. So, dude, don't change yourself for nothing. I want the Jay that I know and we all know, I want him here teaching.
Yeah.
That's it. John Combs, for you, those of you who know John Combs, he's super into jiu-jitsu, but he's also he's a funny, well-spoken guy, man. Like, I want that John Combs here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want this structured guy that people are supposed to fear or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah.
I swear, man. I tell my students like we're family here, man. Like,
Yeah.
You know, and I've already, dude. Not to go on like totally go off topic either, but I've already gotten great feedback from them. A couple of them had like issues, man. I'm like, you have my personal cell, man. Like that's not a business line. If you have an issue, you text me. Some of them have taken advantage of it already. Like I'm getting that aspect of, or, you know, trying to help them. Some had some personal issues and things like that. I'm like 24/7, man. 3 a.m. You need me? Don't just text me. Fucking call me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, we're in this together. We're family. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think a big part of that shows like just the event yesterday. Everybody felt at home. You know, I was myself. Like I'm not perfect, man. I cursed a couple times. I did think like that's me. Do you know what I mean? Like take it or leave it.
It's
and
the
I think
real
people
experience,
genuinely like that. You know what I'm saying?
I think I vibe that for sure.
Yeah,
like I knew that was another thing. Like coming to you, I was like, man, this is gonna be like the perfect dude to have on the podcast.
Well, thank you.
he's a successful business owner, but he's actually he's gonna be my bro at the same time. You know?
Thank you, man. Thank you. Like that's me, man. I don't change myself for anything, man. Like take it or leave it, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's me. You know.
Yeah, I think like in my personal experience, and like I said, this is just me. I'm not critiquing anyone else's gym or their style or anything like that either. But the gyms that I tend to maybe I wouldn't say gravitate toward because I'll train anywhere like that. You know, if someone opens their door for me, I'll go train. But the ones that like really stick in my mind are the ones where it's like, you know, it's going to be a really like brotherly, like, you know, we're like a family kind of vibe. Yeah, but there's also like an underlying, like we're training for competition. Yeah. Like the training is serious, but we can fuck around like afterward. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah. That's like the same thing here, even like the training. Man, we have some savages that come here, you know?
Yeah.
Again, not to go off topic, you're gonna hear me say that a lot. I repeat that same phrase, but like, but I have to say something in order to get to where we're going, right? So I gotta backtrack for a second.
Let's do it.
I just had back surgery July 15th, so I'm not even supposed to be training yet. I have competitions coming up. I'm not supposed to be doing anything really till December. Well, I started training again only like 3 weeks ago. Jeez. You know, so I took a long time, and even before July 15th, I wasn't training because I was badly injured. And I couldn't take it anymore, so I've been fighting this back injury for several years, and I finally had it operated on just 3 months ago, right? July 15th, so 3 months ago. Shit,
Yeah.
like to the day almost.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy.
And long story short, we have this judo guy, Muhammad. He's very good, man. Very tough, like gritty, typical Dagestani type guy, right? And we're boys, man. We're close, very friendly. But when we train, like, we get after it.
Yeah,
You know, and he
no
has a
doubt.
fight coming up. He has whatever. And I'm just getting back in the training. But I'm like, fuck it. Let's go. He was going with a guy and, you know, it got a little rough or whatever. And I think the guy's lip got caught. And that's not great. It shouldn't really happen. But at the same time, sometimes we got to pick it up, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
So-
like, dude, when you're ramping up for competition, like,
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen, yeah.
But me and him started getting after it, you know, and even Tatiana and one of the guys here made a joke, but like, I guess his back is better. You know what I mean? Like we were really getting after it for a few minutes, and that was the first real hard round I had for 5-6 months. Because,
Yeah.
again, I was just getting training. But afterwards, there's no love lost, man. Shake hands, smile, talk afterwards.
Exactly,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And that's like the vibe here. Like we have a lot of cross training here. There's been guys coming from everywhere to train. And all egos, all that shit should be left at the door.
Yeah.
And those people who know me know that that's what I expect of them. So even some of the people that are known to have like a little ego, for some reason they leave it at the door there.
Yeah.
And here they're different, you know. And if we're getting ready, you know, for comps and that pro comp class, there's no reason we can't get after it and push each other.
Yeah.
Granted, if you're with that right partner, you know what I mean. If I get tapped 5 times by Steve, I'm not mad afterwards.
Yeah.
He's a monster, man. Like I want to
Yeah.
improve. Like we'll get after it and we'll go hard, you know.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
afterwards, show me how the hell that happened.
Yeah,
There's no
dude,
egos,
yeah,
man. Like,
100%.
we joke about it
Yeah.
afterwards, we whatever, and we look to improve. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So with cross training and stuff like that.
Yeah, being able to ask each other questions is huge too. Like for
Absolutely,
everyone to
man.
grow, like
Yeah.
like for me, like with my like white belts I train at my gym, like I'm
Yeah.
always like, hey man, this is how I did that to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Don't let me do that again. Like I need
Yeah.
to work on my game.
Yeah,
and now that I
yeah.
got you, I want to see what you're gonna learn, and then I'm gonna have to readapt.
Exactly, man.
know?
That's why, like, you know, now I'll talk about like a schedule again.
Yeah.
Maybe my training philosophy a little bit, right? This isn't for everybody.
Yeah, of
but
course.
like especially for me because it's the way I learn. But like I'm super huge on live training, cross training, open mat. Like you can take, how do I explain this? Like some academies, for example, we all know who they are or whatever. We all know of academies like this where they have like 20 classes throughout the week, but they have no time for their students to train live. It's like an hour class.
Yeah.
It's like typical 10-minute warm-up, 15-minute warm-up, 30 minutes of instruction, 25 minutes of instruction, and maybe they get 2 5-minute rounds in. And then it's like, all right, clean up, next class on the mats. There's no open mat late at night. There's nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, man, in my opinion, open mat is equally as important as instruction. Equally as important.
I agree.
You know,
yeah.
this isn't like getting your blue belt online and doing all that nonsense, which we all know is 100% ineffective. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh man,
like
you would definitely have some people disagreeing with you on that.
Yeah.
Like the online thing. And I think like I'm with
Oh,
you.
no, no,
I'm with
no.
you,
I'm not
yeah.
saying learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me take it back.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
instructionals and all that is
Yeah.
like, oh, dude,
Yeah.
amazing if that's what you meant. I was
Yeah,
talking
no,
about
no, no.
more
I'm
like,
not. I'm not really even talking about the instructional so
Yeah.
much, but some of these programs, like at the start of quarantine, I was seeing so many like learn jujitsu at
Yeah,
home
yeah,
things,
yeah.
and I'm like, bro, like if you don't have, you need someone that's credible with you,
Man.
that you need to be able to live roll, like you were just saying.
Yeah.
It's all in like imperative.
to promote someone to blue belt without ever rolling live. It's a money grab. This is my opinion, and
Yeah.
maybe some people are gonna hate on
Yeah.
me, and I
No, I'm
might
with-
be doing
I'm
more
with
good
you,
by
man.
saying it. But I think anyone who's actually trained and earned something, I think 100%, not 99, would agree with you and me, or at least with me. You know what I mean? That
No, I couldn't agree
you can't
more.
learn that way. You know, never mind. It's not good. It's also a bad thing when, again, you're just taking classes, and you're getting promoted just on classes, and you're never training live. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got to put those. The way we teach is like a guide. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, can it work start to finish exactly how we instructed it? Of course. But there's a lot of times no. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they get their arm in a different. It's a guide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like, this
and-
is how it
yeah.
should be A to Z. But a couple things might go wrong in
Yeah,
between, and then
yeah.
you learn how to adjust and
Yeah, and
get
if you're
there.
like you're a
But that's
lanky
the
guy,
goal,
you got to
is
add your flavor because you're gonna be more
Exactly.
flexible in these
Yeah,
positions, kind
like
of
that's
thing.
the goal,
100%.
is to start here and end there. There might be some hiccups in the middle, but let's focus on ending there, and then you have to make some adjustments. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
So like for
100%.
me, like I would rather, I mean, I'm doing it. You know, like I have open mat every night. We have training after every class. You know, I have probably equal or even more open mat time than instruction. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we have 6 a.m. open mat. You know, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. I'm not, maybe I'll teach something for 20 minutes, you know, nothing crazy, but like let's put what we've been teaching now to the test.
Yeah.
You know, focus on just certain techniques when you roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
That's how we get
yeah.
better, you know? So like that's my vibe here as well. Like we have a lot of live training. A lot. Probably more than anywhere else, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of these guys coming up, I mean, that's how a lot of them got us very good as well. They
Yeah.
didn't take 14 classes for 14 hours and have 5 hours of live rolling time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had certain amount of instruction and then just rolled live round
Yeah.
after round after round. And man, ask Jay specifically, why isn't that working? You know, this is why. And
Exactly,
then that's
yeah.
how we get better, you know? And that's what we're doing here. So like even at open mat time for my students, I'm like, come at 6 a.m., man, come before work. You know, and then if you're struggling with something that's not working, that's the time to ask me. It's almost like getting a private. You know,
Yeah.
we'll work directly on it. And after class as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So we focus on a certain amount of techniques continuously. So we'll teach, you know, a guide of setups, you know, for a month straight. You know what I mean? To where it really sinks in. I don't want to teach you like an arm bar 2 days a week and then
Yeah.
a pass the other 2 days of week, and then next week we're into something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you were just describing, like, before we went live,
Yeah.
how, like, the structure of, I believe you were saying one of John's, like, classes was going, you know, here's this move, here's the sweep off of this, and then here's the counter.
Yeah.
Like, when you have everything in the
Yeah.
class integrated,
Yeah.
that's, I think, that's the most important stuff.
Yeah.
You know, in any, like, even beginner classes, you know, you have to understand the flow of movements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like the other thing too is like, you know, at least for me, like how do I say, like we're starting teaching more advanced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have like a white belt coming in here and I'm teaching him that like just that pull, push, throw your hips up, get the triangle that way. Like if anything, we'll do that like as a warm up or a drill or something.
Yeah.
It's a waste of class because that's never gonna work.
Yeah.
That's never gonna work. That setup. So why would we teach them that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I understand there's some beginning process, but we're teaching higher level stuff right off the bat to new students.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that they get it. Like I was taught back in the day, like basic stuff and work your way up, you know, and then to go into black belt class, you had to be a purple belt or a blue. Like, man, I want my
Yeah.
white belts in that class.
Yeah.
Like, we call it a black belt class. It's not just for black belts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm telling you, and they're getting it. Like day one people are going into deep half and sweeping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Granted, they don't know all the other stuff, but we're working them into that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you have the progression of these blue belts are entering expert no-gi black, divisions, and,
Yeah.
and they're beating black belts.
Yeah,
They're winning.
it's crazy.
Do you think that's just because there's some athletic freak? These guys
yeah.
can't even do cartwheels. You know what I mean? It's the instruction. They're good. They get it.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, I continue to want to learn more from, I'm still a student of the game. And I
Yeah.
take Jay's class. You know? Watching him instruct, and even like John, they're on another level, man.
Yeah.
You know? And it's only going to improve my game and my instruction game as well. The way these guys break it down, they cover everything. The who,
Yeah.
what, why, when, where, how, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All in one technique. It's great. It's really, really super.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me ask you this. What's your opinion of, for example, I was actually listening to like some Joe Rogan stuff on
Yeah.
the way up here, and like Jean-Jacques Machado was touching on, why they wait till blue belt to start teaching like heel hooks and
Yeah.
knee reaps and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. What's your opinion on like, really early people learning, some of the more dangerous moves like
Yeah.
that?
Nowadays, I think it should be necessary. In my opinion, I think that's equally as important as learning the armbar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think most people will agree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
back then, or even when I started, I understand a little more why they didn't, because in actually probably every tournament, I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure most of it wasn't allowed in even like Nagas and stuff till expert division or whatever it was. You know what I mean? So maybe their philosophy is, well, why learn it if they can't do it then? Focus more on the other stuff. But, but I think, man, 5 years ago, all of that changed. Never mind today. And I think it proves itself exactly what I'm saying by finally even like IBJJF is acknowledging it.
Yeah, like they're
finally,
just starting.
You know what I mean?
Hooks,
and I'm not, I shouldn't say this, I'm not a fan of the leg game. You know what I mean? Me personally, after several knee surgeries, to this day, I have no MCL. It's detached off of my knee. So anyone listening that wants to do it, stay away from my left leg. All right? I have no meniscus. Like, I'm not a fan of it because I'm getting older now. You know what I mean? Like, it's a dangerous game at a competition level. But it doesn't mean we shouldn't learn it, you know? And with the right instruction and the right people, the right environment, you can learn it from day one. Just you're going to be all right. You know, the students are going to be okay. It's a matter of having the right training partners.
Yes.
I think back in the day, people were just too aggressive with it. And the techniques were not what they are today.
Yeah.
You know, I obviously can't take an ounce of a credit for it. I'm a student of it. But like the way these guys, John Danaher and that whole system and how they're putting it out, it's safe to teach it. Do you know what I mean? And we teach them to be controlled. We don't want to hurt each other. We teach the severity of how dangerous those positions could be. And again, with the right instruction and when your students respect what you're saying, they get it. Yeah. Like they understand.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, man, I want my white belts doing it. Yeah. And they're doing it. Yeah. You know,
anyone that's really passionate, I feel like the resources are out there too. Like there's so many instructionals online that you can learn proper technique through these things.
Man, learn it. Everybody should be buying. I need to do it more, but I don't have the time. I wish I did more, but I wish I could watch every instructional. You know what I mean? And just drill it at home. Drill it with Tatiana or, you know, when I have a child, I'll drill with my son. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, dude.
You can learn so much that way now. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you're not teaching it now, you're behind. It's only a matter of time before it just becomes, the heel hook's like the arm bar. Yeah. I mean, what are we, 5 years away from that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's here, you know, it's coming. It's here, at least in America, it's coming. You know what I mean? It's different here. The jiu-jitsu game, in my opinion, is different here than it is almost anywhere else in the world. Yeah, you know?
That's a great segue kind of to talk about like the name of your studio. So where did like Studio84 come from? And then obviously you can touch on the AJJ versus BJJ thing.
So from a design perspective, just bringing the word studio, like what it's really supposed to mean behind it is that like you're modern, you're new, you're changing the game. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that came from. So that's just something that I wanted to do. I thought I was the first, and I swear to you, man, I was caught off guard. But me, Jay, Tatiana, we had a lunch meeting like a long time ago, and that was my name. I said I wanted to be Studio something. I didn't know what, but Studio something. And Jay's like, oh man, did you ever hear of Studio 540? I'm like, fuck, because I knew where he was going with that, right? Yeah. And I still don't even know much about it, and I should. But there's an academy in California named Studio 540. You may know about it. Yeah.
We got to make a trip out there. Man.
Yeah, man, now I have to. But he's probably gonna kick me out like fraud. You know, but a lot of high-level guys train there. He has tons of guys come in and teach and all of that. And from my understanding, like the owner has like tons of money and it's like a passion thing, you know what I mean? Successful place, but like he's passionate about it. He never did it for money, you know? Yeah. I could totally be wrong, so I don't want to speak for the academy, but that's what I think is that place is, and that's awesome. It's kind of my thing here, you know? So I thought I was the first, so I wasn't. So I was originally going to name it Studio 1, and then the goal is to have more. Yeah. You know, which I think will be easy. And then the next location would have been Studio 2. Yeah. Then Studio 3 and so on. Well, Tatiana talked me out of that as well. Said that's a bad idea, and a few other people. It was like clicky, corny, whatever. So I'm like, fuck. So what do? Well, 84, it's just the year of my birth. So that's how I came up with Studio 84. Yeah. Right?
It's like in your Instagram handle.
Yeah, it's in my Instagram handle. It's just like, I don't know. As we get older, I think we want to get rid of that because I don't want people to know how old I am. The more I look at 84, I'm like, damn it, time's going by too fast. So, but that's where I came up with 84. So as far as it was originally just going to be BJJ and MMA. Yeah. But Man, the more time I spend training and just developing my own game and being around teammates and certain things and stuff like that in this room and other rooms, I feel AJJ is appropriate. And I can't take any credit for that. So that's the last thing that I want anyone to think is like, oh, I'm reinventing the game. Like, no, I feel like I'm just part of the reinvention, carrying on the torch that Danaher and other guys put out. And they may 100% disagree with me. I haven't gotten any real thing, backlash or anything, but I do. There's many people, I'm not going to say names, that 100% agree with me. And they even train here and so on, AJJ is the movement, we really could just call it grappling, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to put the American Jiu-Jitsu in front of it. And I feel it's a fact. Not the gi. I'm not taking any credit away from the gi or even trying to incorporate into this. In the no-gi aspect, I feel the American way of jiu-jitsu now is different, and I think it's a fact as well. All you have to do is just look at the highest level and your competitions. The way, our American wrestling that we incorporate now into the jiu-jitsu, and just a lot of the grip set positions, we've evolved this stuff. Totally different. I feel there's a huge difference between some of the American grapplers games and the Brazilian games. And I also feel that maybe I touch base on it more than your average practitioner because I spend a lot of time in Brazil.
Yeah.
And again, I'm nothing spectacular in the jiu-jitsu world. People don't even really know who I am. But my no-gi game is very impressive over there. Not the gi, but when I spend time there and I train, they are so far behind. Your average academy. You know what I mean? They don't touch your legs. They don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
The grip set, the takedowns, they're just behind, man. It's just not evolving the way we are here.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's a fact. I think it's visual fact. I don't think anyone could argue it. The name they can, but as far as the style of the no-gi jiu-jitsu, it's very, very advanced. It's different.
Yeah.
Now the gi is a different story. I'm not even going to touch base on it.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything. My gi game is Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But myself, a lot of my teammates, I feel it's more grappling at this point with wrestling, or I call it American jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Is that a good explanation?
Yeah. No, that's
mean?
outstanding. I think you couldn't have done a better explanation of that. Thank you. That's really powerful too. Like I think you're discrediting yourself too much there too, because you probably have a way more well-versed idea of these facts, because you actually do travel there for lengths of time. You know what I mean? You're there, for 30% of a year at sometimes, and so you train on the daily down there more than once a day.
Yeah.
You have a very well-informed opinion on this. I think it's significant, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to become more common too. So I'll backtrack for a second, because I swear to God, I truly thought I was going to be the first AJJ. I really did. I know I've heard of it around, but I didn't think there was an academy.
No one
Granted,
wrote
I
it
never
down,
looked at it on Google or anything.
Yeah.
I just thought of it, and I thought I'd be the first. And then Jay, Dream Crusher, he told me, he's like, oh, not Keenan just named his academy Legion AJJ. I'm like, oh, man. Well, I'm like, well, at least if he did it, that's great than just anyone, because he's super high level. You know what I mean? And his system is beyond advanced, anything that I could ever do. So, but I think his system proves it as well. And his system travels along into the gi as well. He's invented a lot of stuff for the gi. You know what I mean? And he's taken his no-gi style, little wrestling, whatever he has, and his grip set and all that stuff, and he's changed it into his own system. So why can't he call it that? He's an American. He put it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
So I know his academy is named that, and then I guess I'm the second. But I think that term you're going to start seeing a lot more. I really do. I think in 5 years, nobody's going to even think twice when they see AJJ anymore. It's going to be a lot more academies going by AJJ. Not so much maybe for the gi aspect, but for the no-gi, the grappling aspect. American Jiu-Jitsu is here to stay, man. I really think that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
If you see BJJ in a few years, I changed it. I was forced to do. No, it's not going to happen. Funny. It's only going to develop from here far more, man.
No, that's awesome. So cool. So do you want to kind of touch just briefly on the kind of classes that you have here? Do you want to go what's a week in the life at Studio 84?
Man, so I have a lot of classes to start, more than the usual academy that opens up. I have 6 a.m.s, I have noon, and then I have evening class. I don't have Sunday yet, but we will very soon.
Yeah. Luckily you don't, because I have
Yeah.
all the time in the world with you today.
But so, again, we start 6 a.m., and then I have the noon, and then I have the evening. So I have jiu-jitsu every day, gi and no-gi jiu-jitsu pretty much every day. I kind of split it 50-50. And even at open mats, I tell the students, like, man, because there is people who don't want to train no-gi, and there's people who don't want to train gi, you know? I want them both. I don't want to have the typical academy where they have 6 nights of gi, and at the end of the day, just take the gi top off. That's cool, too, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
I remember that, and it's horrible, you know? It's a horrible experience, and that's for me, you know? So
Yeah.
I wanted both, and I kind of wanted 50-50, but at the same time, I already have students, you know, coming and training in the gi and at the end taking it off, or vice versa, like taking a no gi class and then we'll do some gi afterwards. You know what I mean? We offer cardio kickboxing in the morning. All my instructors are listed on the app and the website as well.
Yeah,
Nikki
even in the brochure.
Even in the brochure,
noticed.
yeah. So it gives a little bio about them. But Nikki Sriracha, she teaches our cardio kickboxing. She has amazing energy and fast pace, and I don't know, I look at it and I'm like, I don't even think I could do it. I probably should to build up my cardio,
Yeah,
you know?
for real. Especially when you're going down to Brazil.
Yeah, right? Turn the heat up in here and do it.
Shit.
So I have that. Then Tyson is our Muay Thai instructor. I offer boxing, but like,
Oh, nice.
like
You have-
pure boxing.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
Danny's
covering
not
the
having
whole
you set up
striking
any
thing.
kicks, right? He's having you stand like a boxer. You know, Danny's a pro boxer as well. He's fought on ESPN, Oscar De La Hoya's cards and
Oh,
stuff like
shit,
that.
dude.
He's worked with Frankie Edgar, Marlon Moraes, all of them. He's really good.
Oh, touching on boxing, it just popped in my head.
Yeah.
You see that Tyson is gonna fight Roy Jones Jr. coming up here soon?
Yeah, but I thought they canceled it again.
No, I think it's happening in like a couple weeks in November.
is it
dude.
it's-
yeah,
'cause they moved it back.
They pushed it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought they were going to. I hope so.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to
Yo,
see that?
it's gonna be
I don't want to
crazy.
see 2 old men box, but then at the
It's
same
like
time,
they're
I
the
do because it's
legends.
Tyson.
Yeah, dude.
Roy Jones Jr., I just found out, fought like, I could be wrong in this, but like 8 or 10 times in the past like 3 years or 4 years.
Yeah, he's been yeah.
active.
Yeah,
I didn't know that, and
yeah.
that's my point. Is like,
He never
I
stopped.
wanna-
Like
yeah,
that's
I
like
didn't-
that's a big controversy, right? Like Tyson took a break. Like
Yeah,
he
he
was,
hasn't
you know,
fought in
he was
forever.
doing the pot farm thing. He was laying back.
yeah.
Now he's like the monster's
Yep,
back.
exactly. But like, I didn't know he fought. Roy Jones Jr. has even been active. So my
Yeah.
point is, like, I want to watch it for Tyson.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Roy Jones
Yeah.
Jr. The guy's a legend, you know. But at this, I wouldn't even be like, I don't want to watch it. But Tyson, like, damn,
I gotta.
I
see
have
it.
to watch it, dude.
For
Who's not
real.
gonna watch that? I have to watch it, you know. But yeah, then as far as the schedule, so Danny does the boxing.
Yeah.
And then between myself, John, and Jay, we cover all the jiu-jitsu classes. So Jay runs the pro comp classes. I do more of the no-gi aspect, and John Combs does the gi. I think he
Nice.
does. I think I have him for one no-gi class, I think. I should know, dude. I'm sorry. I forget.
Yeah.
We've kind of been, though, like, since we just started, he's kind of been involved almost in every class anyway. You know,
Yeah.
since we're here, we're training.
Yeah.
And myself with his classes. So, you know, we've been kind of mixing a little bit. You know what I mean? But he's going to pretty much run the gi aspect of it, you know? And we
Cool.
all work well together, man.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's cool, not to bring back up the academy, but, like, I think that's another thing why people gravitate towards here too, because they're getting different looks, you know. Like Jay has his system, his thing. I mean, we are on the same page, but like he teaches a certain way, John teaches a certain way, I teach a certain way. You know what I mean? And,
I do,
and my
yeah.
game is different than his, and his game is different than Jay's. You
Yeah.
know, so people are like, they're throwing a new look all the time. It's like
Yeah.
really exciting. You know
It
what I
is.
mean? It's fun for them. It's not like the same guy, the same flow, the same style, and then
Yeah.
that becomes your student's style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we're gonna have a very
exactly.
mixed style here.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
No, and it's so cool. Like what you're just saying, like hit it right on the nose. Because like I'm used to having like multiple instructors at
Yeah.
my school too, and it's like I'll pick and choose, like, because I know what my game generally
Yeah.
is for the most part.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, I like really like what this like instructor's teaching today.
Yeah, yeah.
I can really incorporate that into my style because it's
Yeah.
how my body works. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm more
Yeah.
flexible. This guy's doing like more like old man jujitsu with
Yeah,
like more
yeah.
power grips and
Yeah.
pressure, and I want to do more dynamic stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So you pick and choose, and it's cool because like you just said, man, every student's gonna develop their own game. It's
Yeah.
gonna rapidly increase
Yeah.
because of the wealth of the
Exactly.
sources of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
knowledge. Yeah.
And when I teach, though, I never tell them, like, look for this, do that. You know, I do, but I don't. But I try to explain to them, like, look, this is my system. This should never take away from something you want to do if you want to change it.
Yeah.
Like, this is how I do it, or this is why I do it, or this is part of my game. Don't think that my game has to be your game.
Yeah.
Because I've been in academies like that, and it's, like, taught one way or no way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not fun. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I'm showing them something that works for me, and I truly think it would work for them, or else I wouldn't show it.
Yeah.
But if you have a twist, a turn, a different entry, like, go for it, man. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Or take that and develop it into your own game. Or if it doesn't suit you, just get it off the table and just know that it exists in case it happens to you.
Exactly,
But don't
yeah,
waste
man.
time trying it. Like,
Yeah.
my game, especially now that I've had, several shoulder surgeries, knee surgeries, hand surgeries, now my back surgeries, like, my game has changed, man. I have to slow it down. Like, I can't be this, tons of takedowns and jumping all over the place
Yeah.
anymore and things. Like, I'm a pressure passer, and that my game is 100% different.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work for some people. You know what I mean? Some people
And you've
maybe,
developed that over time too.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I've developed it to what works for my body, my injuries, and what's given me success as well, But
Yeah.
other
And
people
we
well,
can
thank
plainly
you.
see.
Some people don't have the strength or the pressure or whatever, so maybe they'll navigate more towards John's, you know what I mean? Very technical, constant movement and pressure and side to side, you know what I'm saying?
I do, yeah, definitely.
And I want to get more of that back into my game too, But yeah, I teach them, like, look, this is what I do, don't feel like you totally have to do it. Let's try to work it in, and if it doesn't, we move on to something else,
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
It definitely
Cool.
does. So do you kind of want to talk about, like, how did you go from, like, starting, like, your first business was the landscaping, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, how did you kind of branch off, and, like, you were saying, like, the barbershops, like,
Yeah.
obviously this amazing gym.
Yeah.
And, like, so many other things that you do. Like, you have that foundation as well. I'd love to just dive into that.
So long story short, I started my own business very young. College wasn't an option for me, or education or school with my family and my whatever. That's a
Yeah.
whole other thing. It was never even a discussion. So I just started working, and I kind of worked my way, bribed my way through high school, and I never worked for anybody really, like, my whole life.
Yeah.
Seriously, anyway. I
Yeah.
started this very young, and then I just stuck with it. But it built into something really nice. Not by luck, not by favors, like 100%
Just grinding.
me. That was
Yeah.
it. No family, no loans, no nothing. Like, I started from the bottom, and I worked my way up to the top with just work ethic, man. And it turned into something really good. It was a lot of fails. I've tried other businesses and they failed, and that's the name of the game, man. This is how
Yeah.
this works,
I've been
Success
there.
comes with a lot of failure, man. You're gonna fail if you're truly trying to succeed. You're gonna fail way more, than you succeed. Everybody has those stories.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs and so on. So
Yeah. Well, even the martial arts is a great testament to that, right?
Yeah.
That quote, it's like the master has failed more times than you've even tried.
yeah, absolutely, man. Exactly. You know that just from tournaments and
Yeah,
stuff. You know what
absolutely.
I mean? But so the construction end just built into something special. I've been doing it now 17 years, So from there, I started a design company. I because my customers needed the designs. I got tired of hiring architects and working with other designers, and I'm like, shit, I can do this. The problem is that I can do it legally. I'm a designer, but I don't have, like, my architectural license for landscaping and stuff. Yet I can do 100 times better than any landscape architect that I know. I have a better computer program. I learned from YouTube and just doing it. I never went to school for it, so that's why I don't have the actual degree, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever it needs. But if I went through the school program finally, I think it'd be really easy because I can do it all already.
Yeah. That's so awesome. I just want to touch on that briefly. It's crazy how, like, there's so many old school mentalities about,
Yeah.
like, oh, I want the paper degree and the
Yeah, yeah.
certification, man. I think your portfolio should be 80% of it, man.
Yeah.
Like, for me, like, I worked in IT, and,
Yeah.
like, a lot of it's certifications, but
Yeah.
it's like, dude, like, I've worked with so many different things. It's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I got out of the industry.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
there's no way, like, I've seen so many people just get their bachelor's degree,
Yeah.
and they make more than me
Yeah,
after,
yeah.
like, 7 years of experience. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, come on. This is,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's, like, offensive.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
Not to go off the topic real
Yeah.
quick, like I think Elon Musk is like a big component of that, and he's
Yeah.
very open about it. He's like, I don't care about your degrees. I want to see what you can do. And he has endless amounts of people working under him that are not engineers, but
Self-made,
they're
yeah,
engineers.
yeah.
Like they're better than the engineers that are coming to him for jobs, but they don't have the full schooling or degrees.
Yeah.
And he's like one of the first big name guys and companies
To say
that has
yeah.
people engineering for him that aren't engineers, but they're engineers. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
he's
really transparent about it.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't care about your degree. Show me what you can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I learned an AutoCAD program, all of that. I never went to school. I just literally like got a laptop, and I'm like, I know I could do this shit. And like YouTube tutorials and like calling the company and asking questions, I figured it out.
Fuck
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
dude.
But the problem is I don't have a legal license. So I'm a
Yeah.
legal licensed contractor and everything else, but I don't have my architectural license. So if anything, I draw all the plans, and I have an architect. I won't say who it is, but it's totally legal. I send him all the stuff. He reviews it,
Yeah,
stamps
he
his
double
name next
checks
to
it,
mine,
yeah.
and gives it to me. But he does it immediately because he knows everything I do is perfect. you
Yeah,
know?
that's awesome.
So that's how the design business started. Then in Brazil, the people who help with my children's foundation, I became very close with. They're like my second family. I always talked about doing some business down there, and I was actually going to do something with the fishing and tourism and stuff, but it's too much time. It'd take me away from everything I have to do here. It just wasn't possible.
Yeah.
So me and him talked about doing some barbershops because he knows that they're kind of successful here. And everywhere down there, man, there's just like little rooms where people just cut hair. There's not like there's nothing really nice. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I don't think many here are too nice either. Like I know
Yeah.
I could do it better here, but it just made sense to do it down there. It's just cheaper and so on, you know? So the idea of opening it there was people there are obsessed with America and New York City and all of that. So that's where the name came
Yeah.
from, you know, New York City Barbershop. But I wanted to bring that feel and bring it down there because everyone I know's dream there is, oh, I want to see Manhattan. I want to see whatever. So it kind of made like that lounge feel down there.
Yeah.
We have like a bar set up in there. We have like really nice chairs. We brought like that old school, you know, shave with a real blade
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
down
the
there.
straight razor.
Hot towels.
Yeah.
Like we have the hot towel machines. We have like, again, real nice like luxury chairs, the best trimmers. We have sofas in there, furniture. I have all these massage machines. Like each chair has its own foot massage machine, hands massage, shoulder stuff. So they get like a whole body massage kind of
Yeah.
without anyone touching them while they're getting their hair done. Nobody has that down there. And then I have it set up to where the guys can bring their wives for free. You know, they sit, relax, like in a little massage chair, and they use all the stuff. We have like the massage guns and everything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? While the husband's like getting a haircut. You
Yeah,
know, and they could have
that's
a beer
awesome.
and they could do this and that. So it's a totally different experience, even than what we have here in America. But down there, it's just a much bigger deal. So I brought Cristiano in as a partner in on that. So I was the financial end, the design end. You know, I know we could do it, the business planning end and everything else, and he kind of runs it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a lot of work getting it going. Like I
No
went down
doubt,
there,
yeah.
and the first month everybody thinks like, oh, he's vacationing there or whatever. Like, man, I'm hitting the streets. Like I'm a big component in business. Like it's face to face.
Yeah.
You can, and even here, man, like in my brochures, not to go off topic, but even for the studio, like I have these pamphlets everywhere I go. Like when we go to the ice cream place, the pizzeria, anywhere, I'm talking to people. Hey, my name's Guitano. You know, I just opened this place. Do you work out? Do you whatever? And people like that conversation.
Yeah, that's
And I've
awesome,
had people
dude.
come in from here rather than just putting an ad in a paper or like something on
Yeah.
the radio station. Like I'll put the footwork in and I'll talk to you directly.
Yeah.
Like I have people in this Dunkin' Donuts right here. Like I'm stopping at cars. If I see it's like someone who could be interested, like a dad with some kids or something, I
Yeah.
knock on the window, we break bread that way, and they remember that, you know?
Yeah, no doubt.
So that's
dude.
what I did in Brazil. Like I literally had pamphlets, and we were at every traffic light, me and my jiu-jitsu friends and all that. They all would help out, you know what I mean? And I'm literally like talking to everybody. Every car, we're walking around in the mall, distributing stuff, going to businesses, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Putting the footwork in and the legwork and the hours of communication in order to generate clients, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe 10% of them came, and maybe 5% of them stayed after that, but that's a lot.
Dude, that is.
You know what I
man.
mean?
Because like,
And then
if you
they
think
talk.
about like doing like a Facebook ad, you're getting
That's it, man.
1%. You
Yeah,
know what I
and
mean?
that's
Because they're
it.
sending it to
Yeah.
grandmas and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You know?
But maybe 10% of the people we spoke to came, maybe 5% stayed, but that 5% grows into 50% by the time he
Yeah.
tells his friends, coworkers, and this and that. And I literally watched it happen in the last short time I was there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was watching it grow before my eyes just within a matter of weeks, just from doing that. And nobody does that stuff down there.
Yeah.
So again, not like kind of like what I got to the academy. Like I think I could do it better, and I think I already am. You know, like in Brazil with barbershops or even here, like I know nothing about cutting hair. The most I've cut hair in my life is I shaved the side of Tatiana's head. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
it. But the business end, I feel like I could do it better. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like I don't need to know how to cut hair to do that. We have barbers that do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's working. You know, it's the idea is to have multiple locations over time. So I'm in that for the long haul.
That's
you know what I mean?
epic,
I wasn't
dude.
looking for a return on my dollar immediately. Like it's a savings account. It's an
Yeah.
investment. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
Same thing with my other business though, the construction business. Like I just felt I could do it better. You know, and I did. You know, I did the designs better. I do so many things different than the other guys. And there's a lot of people who are like, man, how you don't advertise? You don't do. I do nothing, and my phone always rings. I do literally nothing. No, for that now I built it to where people talk. People in those high-end homes, they want a guy that they trust to work. They'll find me.
Yeah.
You know, and through talking and whatever, I get calls from all over the states. You know, just man, I heard you design this. I heard you did that. You know, the people, they'll find you once you build something.
I might be thinking of someone else, but I feel like this is you. You're like, don't you? You either built this for yourself or someone else, but you have like a stream or something around your property.
I
that
built
the
that
fish,
all from
that
my
the
house.
fish, the fish are swimming through it the whole
yeah,
time. Dude,
yeah.
that shit is so cool.
Yeah, man, my house. Not to
That is
brag
so
about
cool.
my house or anything, but like I said, my house is very different.
Yeah.
And even my backyard. I
Yeah.
spent a ton of money, but it's wild, man. So
Yeah.
even this year, like I have a big fish pond with a bridge and everything, and I'm obsessed with my koi. They're like our kids, you know.
Yeah.
But I always wanted them to swim around the yard.
Yeah.
And if I could, I'd make I'm obsessed with water. I would have the whole yard a pond. You know, my
Yeah.
pool and everything. I would turn it into a fish pond. But I ended up, while I have a broken back and everything else, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I got to do it. One day I just started like, I just had the vision. Well, I had the vision for a few years, and then one day I just finally put it into play. You know what I mean? So one of my buddies, his son wanted to make some extra money, and he's always asking me to work. I'm like, you know what you can do, dude? I'm like, here, I spray painted it out. I'm like, dig this. As long as you don't care, it's hot. Dig this. I'm gonna make a stream, and as soon as you dig it, I'll set the liner, the boulders, and all that stuff. Well, 3 days in, he only got like 20 feet. So I realized, I'm like, damn it. Now I made a project for myself. So
Yeah.
I stayed. I had a couple of my guys come, and we dug the other like 250 feet in 5 hours.
That's funny.
You know what I
as
mean?
shit.
And then I dedicated the time to finish it.
Yeah.
But it's a stream that connects to one end of the pool, the pond, and it goes all the way around my pool, like all the way around my property, and it connects to the other side. And we have like all bridges and stuff going through it.
Damn,
so when
dude.
you walk through it, it's
State-of-the-art.
wild, man. It's really cool. And the fish now can swim all the way around, man. It's really neat.
If someone wanted to see this, where could they go to find it?
I don't know if I have it on my Instagram. On my Facebook page, I do. That I know. I definitely have it there. Yeah, they got
Yeah.
to see it. And then you get to see the whole other yard. It has like, I have TVs, outdoor TVs bolted to the trees. You
Yeah.
know, there's like a bar in the pool. There's waterfalls. We have a pergola, fire pits, fire features. I have a
That's
big
badass.
covered roof with 80-inch TVs. It's where we always have people over to watch the fights and the jiu-jitsu events outside.
Yeah.
You know, We have a sauna outside, a jacuzzi, another covering. It's pretty cool.
No doubt,
You know,
dude.
it's different. Not to brag, not to anything,
Yeah,
but I'm
nah, dude.
it's relaxing, man.
Yeah.
It's my little vacation spot, our backyard, you know?
Yeah,
I wish
man.
we used it more. We're not home a lot, though. We're always
Yeah.
working or out somewhere, you know?
Yeah,
But
I totally feel you. It's
it's
just
fun.
nice to have like a home base that you know is like solid.
hell yeah. So it's never a boring day, you know?
Yeah.
If there's nothing to do, we make it fun at home, you
That's
know?
epic.
So it's cool.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk a little bit about the philanthropy thing that you have going on in Brazil?
So to get back to Brazil,
Yeah.
I'll start. I'll backtrack again a little bit.
Yeah.
So like the very first time I went to Manaus,
Mm-hmm.
again, I've been all over the world, and even here it touches me, man. Like I'm always helping people. People who know me know I do way more. I don't really advertise it. I don't help a family and blast it all over Facebook and look, I help pay their rent or get their car.
Yeah.
Like I do a lot, and again, those close to me know what I do.
Yeah.
But I don't do it for attention, man. I do 10 times more than what's shown, and
Yeah.
nobody knows about it, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know. But I had never seen poverty like I seen in Manaus. And
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of places. The only place I could say that was probably worse at the time was in Guyana, in Georgetown, Guyana. That's really bad there. Like really, 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 really bad.
Yeah.
The only place that was worse than Manaus was Guyana. So my very first time there, I couldn't sleep. I got there at like 11 o'clock at night, and we had to catch the float plane to enter the Amazon for the fishing trip at like 5 a.m. So I was like all excited I'm going to be fishing, so I'm like wide awake. So I leave the Wyndham Hotel, and I just start walking the streets, and they have this place, it's called, or I stayed, it's Ponta Negra, which in Portuguese it's Ponta Negra. In English it means black tip, and that's the black tip of the river before, like I was telling you earlier, it meets the brown water and becomes the meeting of the waters that the whole world wants to see. I was walking the strip of Ponta Negra, which is the nicest part of Manaus. So I didn't even really know like what Manaus was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I just
'Cause you
flew
were
in
getting
there
the
for a
tourist
fishing trip.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm only there for 6 hours, and I'm in Ponta Negra, which is like the rich section. They actually have, but what we consider rich, it looks like Toms River, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So to us, it's nothing, but to them, like they're like, oh, everybody there is filthy rich.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of Mercedes and stuff, but there was still like a lot of street dogs and homeless people and stuff like that. And I was up all night, like buying street food at the vendors because it never closes there. It's like 24 hours.
Yeah.
I was feeding all the dogs. I gave some dude my sandals. I'm like, where could I buy shirts? You know, like it was touching, you know what I mean? But it was like the normal stuff that I kind of would have done, right?
Yeah.
So when I went on the fishing trip, I asked the guy who hosted it, and he's like, I'm like, man, there's a lot of like homeless people and stuff right outside my hotel. He's like, oh, they go there because people have money. They go there at nighttime, and they know there's tourists there to go to Brazil. So you did exactly what they were expecting. I'm like, oh shit. He's like, if you want to see some real stuff, you got to go down to the port. So I extended my trip. And once I landed, I canceled my flight, and I stayed like a week. And I did. I started seeing the city. I trained some jiu-jitsu. It was my first time there. I never knew. And it just touched me differently than it had touched me like anywhere else on the planet, man. Like, it's just hard to explain. I can't really say why. It's just like I hadn't seen that many poor people that truly looked like they were struggling.
Yeah.
Not like, and this is not to discredit other homeless people that just say here in America. Like when I drive through Trenton over here.
Yeah.
Every other corner there's somebody with a sign. I know they got drug problems, they got this and that, and medical issues with their head.
Yeah.
It's sad, right? That just doesn't touch me as much as over there where people are really struggling.
Yeah.
Like they're really homeless because there actually is no work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just that huge component. Like, man, if you're in America and you're not making money, most times it's you.
Yeah.
It's not the system we have in place here. It's fucking pretty good here, man.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a better country on the planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll drink if you want to work, what's that?
I'll drink to that,
Yeah.
brother.
I mean, if you want to work, man, there's work here. If you're not finding it, you're not looking, man. Doesn't have, whether it's on the books, cash, whatever, right? So, at that time I didn't speak much Portuguese at all. I only knew some from being around Ricardo and fighters over the years and stuff, you know. So it was really limited. But I was talking a little bit and just hearing some of their stories. I'm like, man, these people are really struggling. But what hit me way harder was the kids.
Yeah, dude.
You see these ads in America, and again, let me just say one time, I'm not trying to discredit anything in America, right?
Yeah.
At all. Like, but I feel so much more, so different and more passionate about this topic than most other people because I have more experience with it.
Yeah, man.
Not from looking on Google, from like feet on the ground in many other countries. So when I see these ads where 1 in 6 American children is starving, I laugh. I'm like, all I see is overweight kids, really, to begin with. Not to sound cruel.
Yeah.
It's visual fact, man.
Yeah.
I don't know one starving child as long as I've lived here. Is there people who could use food? Maybe they go to bed hungry one night. Of course, man. And no, that shouldn't happen. That's sad. I'm not heartless.
Yeah.
But there's not many people starving here. Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Food banks are,
they're everywhere, man. There's help here.
Find the resources.
Yeah, I mean, I
there's
do
a
a lot.
system for that.
Yeah, man, I've done a lot of work here, and it's not what they
countries.
have on the counter at Wawa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Donate to this. That's a whole nother topic, right? There's true homeless kids. There's 12-year-olds raising 6-year-olds. It's sad, man, and it's everywhere. And they have no option, no government help, nothing. So I'm like, one day I want to do something. I'm like, I want to help these people. Like, I got to come back. So I immediately met friends through jiu-jitsu, which I've done all over the world.
Yeah, dude.
And that brings me, another reson why I'm so passionate about this sport. Time had passed, and I had visited again, and every time I would go, I would help, it's more money. I would just take thousands of dollars and just go buy shit and drop it off and whatnot, And through talking to people, I'm not religious by any means, and I'm not against anyone who is.
Yeah.
But many people there are, and a lot of my friends with jiu-jitsu, they're heavily involved in the church. So I started working with some churches, not because of religious reasons. They do their service. I'm there, I'm listening, but I'm like, not to disrespect them either, but it's not why I go. I go to support them, and it's cool. I don't mind. I spend New Year's every year the past years in churches. You know what I mean? I don't even talk. I just go because it's part of what we do. But I started working with them, and I'm like, man, what if we did something for like Christmas one year? And they thought it was a great idea. You know what I mean? I'm like, let's gather up these kids and bring them Christmas, because Christmas is just another fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, they seriously have no idea what Christmas is because they've never been giving a present. Never. They've never been given a present.
Yeah.
Maybe they watch some random kid get a present or what they'll see on a TV.
Yeah.
But they don't even have TVs. They have nothing. They live in abandoned buildings. Like, they have to maybe see a TV in a store and see like what that is. You know what I mean? So that was the goal. And then I just put the goal to life. I'm like, fuck, I'll be back December 15th and let's get something rolling. So with their help, we organized buses. We did all this stuff. I went down early. It's not easy to buy stuff there. You're like, Manaus isn't modern. It's really, really difficult. Just the way to pay for things is difficult.
What's the exchange rate for like an American dollar to their currency?
It floats up and down, up and down. But right now it's really high. I think it's like, so $1 American dollar is like 5.4 reais, I think. It was over 6, but I think as of, I could be wrong, but last time I checked was like a week ago. It was like 1.5. The only reason I checked too is because I'm like, damn it, I could have opened up more barbershops for the same amount of money because the American dollar is so strong right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started, was just with that, me seeing the situation and going from there. And then the first Christmas was pretty neat. We had a big turnout, and then I had an event afterwards. So I'm going to go on another topic real quick. Because I started noticing, like, there's a lot of, like, amputees. You see that in a lot of foreign countries.
Yeah.
And some people listening or whatnot, they might not agree with me or not understand what I'm saying, but this is as real as it gets. And this is shit that you don't find on Google, and you don't find everything. But I've seen this with my own eyes, and I've seen videos, pictures, and children be a product of this. Doctors are paid to cut in many other countries. And it's strange because people always answer like, well, if the countries don't have money, then how are they paying? I'm like, I can't answer that. You know what I mean? But I do know that this is how it works. So the reason why you see a lot of amputees, especially in children, but even adults, because it was taken when they were a child, is when you have, for example, like a 12-year-old raising a 6-year-old. This one particular girl that I helped that you can see on my Instagram, her name is Drielli. I helped the most. We had an event where I had, after Christmas, I wanted to do something more, and I ran into some money. You know, I had a good year, and I'm like, fuck it, I can do more. Let me do more. I always am doing more, you know?
Yeah.
And we organized a bunch of buses, and I got a bunch of inflatable stuff, which is impossible. We had to have someone come from like 6 hours away with some inflatable slides, trampolines, because people don't have the money to do that there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like here, for my event yesterday, you know how easy it was to get giant inflatable bounce houses and everything? One phone call, a couple texts, boom, it was here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Down there, they don't have that because nobody has the money to do that.
Yeah.
So we had this guy come from hours and hours and hours away, set this stuff up. I noticed this girl jumping on a trampoline, but someone was helping her, and she was missing a leg. And I'm like, damn, man, like, how does this keep happening? So I asked her story, and I found out what the story was. One, she was homeless. But she had an abscess on her knee. Like an abscess, like I don't know if you've ever gotten them, but it's common for a lot of wrestlers, even jiu-jitsu guys.
Yeah,
you kind of get staph and abscess.
Yeah.
They cut it, they lance it, they squeeze all the crap out, and then they put like that 2-foot piece of gauze in there and pack it in there. And a week later, you pull it out, a little bit of antibiotics, and you're fine, right? You're not going to die. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've had them many, many, many times. I even got to the point I was cutting and lancing them myself. Do you know what I'm like? Why am I going to the hospital for this? I could do this, you know? So she had an abscess on her leg. It's easy for the caretaker, whatever, the 12-year-old girl, for a doctor to say, oh my God, that's a bad infection. If I don't take your friend's leg off, she's going to die of an infection. Versus telling like a real parent. A real parent has the brains to say, you're going to put my kid on antibiotics. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That doctor gets paid to cut versus to treat. You know? And it's really messed up how that works. So what happened? He took her leg just because of an abscess.
That's fucked, man.
No cast afterwards or like a prosthetic leg like you'd have here in America. No wheelchair. Nothing. So I seen her at that event in this old-ass wheelchair that they got out of the garbage with flat tires. You know, you can see the videos on my Instagram. It was really sad, man. Dude. It really sucked. And it just touched my heart. I remember just, like, break down crying, you know? I'm like, I got to do something. So we flew someone in from Tabatinga to come fit for the leg, to do all of that, go back, make it, then fit it. Then they taught her how to walk again, the physical therapy. It was like a whole process, you know?
Man.
But that's the stuff that happens there. And this is the stuff that you don't see on the news or people don't talk about it because you have to be there, man. You have to, like, that's getting back to what we spoke about in the beginning. Like, you have to have feet in the soil.
Yeah.
Like, get out of your resort. Don't stay in mini America. Like, melt, man. Go out there and get on the streets.
First-hand account is
the people aren't as bad as you think sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's you got to get there. You got to get involved. You know what I mean? And then you really start to see what happens. You know? So, and then from there, like I said, and then it just kept building. And then I do I haven't been home for Christmas in a long time. I'm there handing out gifts and putting the work in. It's very enjoyable for my heart and my mind. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's not enjoyable. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, you're in Brazil. You're in, oh, New Year's must have been crazy. Or you went to Carnival. I'm like, dude, I'm in a church.
Yeah.
Like
I'm on a mission.
I'm buying gifts. I'm on a mission. I'm helping people. I'm crying like day in and day out. There's nothing fucking cool about it as far as that goes.
Yeah.
I train jiu-jitsu. It's the only time I enjoy myself for the first few weeks. It's a lot of work. Then after that, I start having more fun. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of work, man. But it's something that makes me feel good. Do you know what I mean? I get nothing out of it. If anything, I just get stress, headaches, financial burden, and everything else. But just seeing the reaction on their face, man, for the first time, like getting presents and having someone, letting them see someone, a stranger, help you. Like, I hope they take that into the future. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always give like a little speech and stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. I always give like a little speech, man, like how important education is, how important schooling is, stay away from drugs, that whole thing, you know what I mean? And just how important it is to help people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be family or best friends to help each other. Do you know what I mean? And I know that sounds corny, but it's real, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
It really is real. I'm not one of those that say, like, oh, if you help people, it's going to come back in life, because fuck that. If that was the case, I'd be a billionaire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I don't believe in that at all. I just believe you should be a good person, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you should have a heart, and you shouldn't look into it as you're going to get something back out of it. Do you know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's really powerful. I can't, let me put something out there. Maybe you can touch on this. But there's like I think Jordan Peterson.
I know of him from the Rogan podcast.
Yeah. So there's a talk he gave where he was talking about like kind of how you get your life kind of figured out.
Yeah.
And you start like by cleaning your room, right?
Yeah.
Like affect what you can in your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
There's no sense in worrying like, oh no, like China's hacking North Korea or whatever.
Yeah.
Like why are you even concerned with that? It's not going to affect your life at all.
Yeah.
Like start affecting the things in your sphere of influence, and the more competent you become locally, the further you can reach that sphere of influence, and the more responsibility you can take on.
Yeah.
And I see like now, like with you, like I just feel like that's a huge, like almost kind of ethos of your life, dude. It sounds like just from talking to you briefly here.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah, that guy's super intelligent.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I don't agree with, and I don't have to agree with.
Yeah.
But a lot of it I do, man. He's on point. You know,
Yeah.
think whatever you want about him, but you can't ignore facts, numbers, and everything that he says. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to him a couple times on that Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, there's definitely, like, I agree. There's some things that, like, I don't agree with so much, but a lot of the stuff, like, I've taken back, and even, like I have a son myself.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things, like, he has a book where he kind of talks about, like, it's 12 rules for life.
Yeah.
And one of the things is don't let your children do anything that makes you dislike them.
Yeah.
Because that's a way to foster resentment.
Yeah.
So, like, that, like, was a huge thing for me, and it was, like, I don't want to resent my son because he's irresponsible with technology. Like I said, I worked in IT, so I'm like, oh, security matters so much. Like your privacy matters so much.
Yeah.
Can't be like messing with TikTok. So instead of being mad, I just explain it, and now he understands. You know?
No, that makes sense. That's a good philosophy, man.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Good shit.
But that's awesome. So then, what? So do you want to touch like you have so many businesses? Like I'm like losing track.
No, go ahead.
So the philanthropy thing, and it's almost like the barbershop thing is almost tied to that. Like it's another thing. It's so cool how you just kind of planted a seed out there and just like are letting it grow.
Yeah. So another thing that we're doing that I think is going to take off is it's new, but we're turning storage containers into pool houses,
dude,
pool bars, anything. And I know this sounds crazy, and I didn't invent it. I mean, you could just Google it.
Yeah, tiny
just
homes,
Google,
dude. That's a huge thing right now.
Yeah, Google storage container home edition or whatever. They have them forever. I mean, people turning storage containers into pools. It's rare.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be like the next big thing. Nobody's doing it in Jersey, and I work for high-end people. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh, I could do that. And I know I probably sound like a cocky bastard, but once again, I'm like, I could do it fucking better. You know what I mean?
For
like
sure,
I'm watching what these guys are designing and doing, and I'm like, oh, I could do that better. Just already I know what I'm doing, what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're launching, and we're having a site. We're going to have a bunch of containers there. We do. And we're building like pre-built pool houses and shit like that, you know, that literally get delivered, assembled, and people will be able to go and even like pick out what style they want. Or of course we can custom modify anything to what they want, you know. But like one thing that I had is like I work on a lot of high-end homes, and this is going to be really silly in conversation, but if we actually had one here or a picture, it would make much more sense. But parents could maybe relate to this. So when my clients, you know, have big parties of like 100 people, they're always like, oh, they need some place to put the baby, they need something down, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? A place to lay the baby down or something, you know, take a nap.
Yeah.
He's cranky, bring him inside, whatever. Like in these pool houses, we have like in one of the back rooms, I'm going to have like 2 or 3 sections, like small little rooms, air conditioned, heated, you know, a little TV on the wall or whatever, where it's like a rest area for kids or an individual that just need to like take a nap. I know it sounds ridiculous, but
no, dude,
it's, you know, when you're entertaining, we entertain a lot at our house. And one of the big things is like the kids can only stay too long.
Yeah.
You know, like if they have a safe spot where there's nothing that they can get hurt on, they have the little cameras, they can walk around and connect to it Bluetooth right on your phone.
Yeah.
Keep checking in. The baby's 30 feet away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But can't fall, can't grab something, can't get something to choke. Like, that's huge. You know what I'm saying?
No, it is. That is actually a popular thing. I don't know if you've heard of this. Like, they do trailers like that where, like, they're tiny homes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, let's say, like, you have someone that's staying over, like, you're having some people come.
Yeah.
Like, you can rent these tiny homes, and, like, they can just stay outside in that tiny home that's on your property. Yeah.
That's, like, a whole nother thing. And that tiny home thing, I've seen waves of all kinds of things in my business and construction, all that stuff, like, come in and be like a fad, but some fads are to stay, like that tiny home thing.
Yeah.
5 years ago, everybody's like, dude, that's the stupidest thing ever. Then they had a TV show on it. And then now look, like there's tiny home manufacturers. You know what I mean? There's trailer companies, like you said.
I'm even doing my bus,
tiny
you know
trailers.
what I mean?
Yeah, like it just started somewhere and it blew up. And I'm telling you right now, 5 years, maybe remember this conversation with American Jiu-Jitsu or this storage container kind of thing. It's going to be the norm, man. It's going to be the norm. I've watched this shit happen over 17 years.
What are some fads that you've seen kind of fall off to the wayside?
As far as in
like in the construction or anything,
So like in construction, as far as let's just say like around here, I've watched pool fads come. So like fiberglass pools were one.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of my customers wanted them, and the big sell off when they first really got popular was the fiberglass pools because they can install them in like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
So everybody wanted them because to do like a steel wall or concrete pool or a liner with concrete walls or whatever it is can take months.
Yeah.
Because of the digging the hole, custom building it, and pouring the concrete, setting the tile, all that shit. These guys made a killing because they offered a pool that you could have in 3 days. First day, they dig. Second day, morning inspections. They drop the pool. Third day, plumbing, backfill, fills with water. Like, that's it. The fourth day, you were swimming. A lot of people were so anxious, you make a donation to the fire department for like $1,000, and the fire department brings fire trucks and fills your pool for you.
Oh, that's
so they
crazy.
can even have it full like the end of the second day. You know what I mean? And they're swimming right away. The problem is they don't last.
Yeah.
They look like shit. It's like a bathtub in the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Like that's one where everybody was like, and that was one that I swear to you, I'm not trying to say I saw coming, because when we worked around some of them, I'm like, dude, these look horrible. It looks like a kitchen sink, but like in the ground, or a bathtub. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's no way that this is gonna stay. That was one. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And I'm glad it did, because they're hideous.
Yeah.
I hate working around them.
Glad
You know what I
it
mean?
did.
And then those clients were also so annoying too, because they're super anxious.
Yeah.
So they're like,
they want
how long is it
now,
gonna take you to do their project?
Yeah.
I'm like, 6 days. They're like, what? It's only gonna take us 3 days to put the pool in. How's it gonna? I'm like, I gotta lay 1,000,000 bricks around this thing. Like, I don't get my bricks delivered like your pool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Assembled. It's a lot of work. So those clients are also super annoying because they're super impatient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm glad that fucking came and gone.
Yeah,
You know?
for real.
So
You can't rush perfection. That's a big thing.
hell no. Just like jujitsu.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. No, that's awesome. Yo, so you live pretty close to here?
25 minutes. 20 minutes away.
Yeah, cool.
20, 25 minutes.
I'm just thinking, like, my jiu-jitsu gym is like 45 minutes away from me, right? And it's just so crazy that like some people think it's crazy, like, oh man, like when like some of my friends was like, oh, I drive, like I go from my job to my gym, it's like a 5-minute drive, and then I tell them like, yeah, I drive like 45 minutes to go train jiu-jitsu. You do that every other day? Whoa, that's crazy. It's like, dude, if you want quality instruction, like man, that's what you need to do.
You got to go get it.
Yeah.
We've already had a lot of students say like they train wherever and it's close to them, but they're just not happy for whatever reason. You know, and they're willing to drive all the way here. And my answer to them is like, man, obviously if you're willing to drive, we're happy to have you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Come try a class or whatever, and they enjoy it. But like you said, like for people who really want to learn, they'll travel to get good instruction. A lot of the problem is, not problem, or maybe I'm going to go on a total another topic, but a lot of hobbyists and stuff don't know what real instruction is.
Yeah.
And nor do they care. You know, as an academy owner, like, I'm realistic. What pays your bills is hobbyists.
Yeah.
You know, some people think like your fighters, your competitors, they don't pay an academy's bills.
Yeah.
Like, you probably lose money on fighters, even elite fighters.
Yeah.
You know, because we all know they don't make that much money.
Yeah.
Unless you're a huge, huge name in the UFC, they don't make much money.
Yeah.
So what are they giving the academy after training camp, after they took the instructor away for
Yeah.
a 6-week camp and stressed him the fuck out and everything else? You know, even if they made $40,000, they gave him 10%, which they don't.
Yeah.
That's $4,000. Like, I'm not gonna say
For
academy
several
names,
weeks,
but
yeah.
I know many academy owners where it's not worth that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if anything, they lose money when they have even elite level fighters. This is my opinion, but I
Yeah.
think the numbers don't lie. You know?
Yeah.
Your hobbyists pay your bills, but there's a lot of academies that just have horrible instruction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, horrible, and their hobbyists don't know. You know what I'm saying? And it's, I think it's bad for all of our academies in a whole. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when they leave or when they compete, you know, let's just say when they compete and they're getting smashed, like, they think that that's how it should be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it shouldn't be that way. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I do 100%.
Like, they,
man.
you know, and then they quit. And then they're like, oh, jiu-jitsu is not for me. They put a bad name out for it. You
Yeah.
know, when in fact, jiu-jitsu probably was for you.
Yeah.
You just needed to be somewhere different.
Yeah.
Or your academy owner shouldn't have thought of it. Just thought of it as $1 and shouldn't have let you compete.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I've seen
yeah.
that countless times, and
Yeah.
we've all seen it at tournaments.
Yeah,
Do you
well,
know what
dude,
I
like
mean?
even in my school, like, we'll shit on you if
Yeah.
you're gonna do a comp and like
Yeah.
you're skipping days. It's like, bro,
Yeah,
don't be a
you
piece of
should.
shit, bro.
Yeah.
yeah, like,
Like-
you have a comp coming up, bro.
Yeah.
Are you really like fucking gonna be drinking
Yeah,
tonight?
yeah, yeah.
You better not fucking drink tonight, bro.
Yeah,
it's
man.
gonna show on the mat.
Absolutely,
it's gonna show on the
absolutely.
mat.
Like, as an academy owner, that's a line where I have to draw, or draw the line. What's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
saying?
yeah, draw the line,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Whatever that saying is, like. But I'm okay with it. Like, I know I will be. I know the type of person I am, and I've had to have a couple discussions already. Like, some guys already want to compete and this and that. I said, man, target December. It's like, oh, there's a Naga in November or whatever's coming up. I'm like, dude, nope, December. And that's the soonest, you know? And at the same time, you better be here every day.
Yeah.
Because it's not just you. It's my name, man.
Yes.
And I'm not saying kill yourself, you know? Like, but be here every day. Learn. Like, don't come 2-3 days a week and expect you're going to compete. You know what I mean? Like, and at the same time, maybe I shouldn't do this, but I tell them, like, we want to win, of course. But, man, because I've been there. Like, but I'm also just as happy, man. If you're looking to test yourself and I see you in here and you're working hard and you know you put everything into it, and if you lose, man, and you tried, I'm just as fucking happy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I truly am, man.
Yeah, as long
'Cause
as you
we're all
poured
not
your
gonna
heart
win,
out
man.
on
I
the
don't care
mat,
who
yeah.
you are. Every person that I know, even at the highest level to this day, without saying names, I literally watched many of them lose countless matches at blue, purple, brown. They didn't start winning shit until black belt
Yeah.
or brown belt. You know what I mean? Realistically, most of my first students who compete, it's a good chance they might lose. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? That happens, man. I lost my first ones. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I tried hard, and my instructor knew that, and we held our heads high. You
Yeah.
know, like, hey, dude, you got to outwork.
Yeah.
This is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Get on the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
man,
and
if
your
you-
work ethic like paints the picture for that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man,
It
you
just
know what
takes
I
that
mean?
grind
That's it.
to achieve it.
Yeah, but if you're going half-ass, and then you're the instructor and you let your student compete and he got smashed, and now you wonder why he never comes back, you know, you had to stay on your line,
Yeah.
man. Don't just let him do anything. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It hurts you worse. You know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
no, 100%. I think a big thing, just touching on this, and like I think you can probably
Yeah.
relate to this. Like for me, like my head coach, like Andrew
Yeah.
Cockle,
Yeah.
he competes alongside us a lot
Yeah.
of the time,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
feels like, you know, we're like, you know, a squad walking
Yeah.
into the war. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So when you know, it's one thing if like the coach is just kind of like, you know, telling you like, okay, like I'm gonna give you the instruction and then it's you on the mat and I'm just
Yeah.
gonna coach you.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like we're going out there as a team and we're
Yeah.
going to bring home the gold.
Yeah,
Like that,
yeah.
dude, that mentality,
Right.
that just fixes you. Like it fixates your mind on victory
Yeah.
right out the gate.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
like I'm part of the team
Yeah.
that's gonna be, you know, bringing home the
no,
gold.
man, that's awesome. Andrew's a special dude, man.
Yeah, dude.
Like I said, I've been up there to train with him. Patrick.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
Sam,
Pat too, man.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I haven't been there probably like 2 years. It's been a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's good, dude. He was a solid training partner. I don't think I can move with him the way I used to anymore. 'Cause we would get after it, man.
Yeah,
He's
man.
fast and
Oh,
scrambly.
dude, yeah, scrambly
I
is a
could
good way
half
to
keep up
describe
with him
it.
then. Now, I don't know, dude.
You better use that pressure, bro.
Yeah,
Hulk
I'm going to
smash.
grab his ass and not let go. Or maybe put on a gi top so I can slow it down even more, you know? Yeah, he's super technical. But I look forward to a lot of my students competing, and I know they're going to put that work in. You know what I mean? Not to talk about myself, right? But, like, here's an example of what I was saying, so it might explain or help you understand what I was really trying to say, too.
Yeah.
It's like, last year I competed a lot, and I really shouldn't have. But I'm so glad that I did because, man, I was broken. Like, you didn't know then, and a lot of people didn't know. Tatiana knows more than anyone.
Yeah.
She lived it with me.
Yeah.
But I have severely herniated discs in my back, and a lot of people do. But the problem is the way my discs are herniated, they're pushing on my nerves really bad,
that
way worse than
sucks,
anyone.
yeah.
My sciatica, even the nerves that start to control your bowels, your legs. It was about a week from Worlds. I had just did the New York Open, and everyone who knows me, I was limping around all the time. I didn't notice it as much. Like, to me, it was normal.
Yeah.
She shared a video after I won Pans last year on, I don't know, on Facebook, or maybe it was just me, or she texted to me, I don't remember. And I'm literally like hobbling around. And when I see that, I'm like, man, that's how I was really fucking walking. It's crazy. Like, I was in so much pain all the time, and I couldn't bridge, I couldn't do things, but I still competed. I still got out there. I still got after it.
Yeah.
It was like a week from Worlds. I was in the hospital. You know, I got up in the morning, took a shower, and I fell on the bedroom floor, like screaming, you know, like half soiling myself. Like,
damn,
she was
dude.
there. She had to call 911, had to call the police. I got taken out in an ambulance. I had to go to the hospital, all of that stuff. I was getting injections in my back. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm still going. I went out there, somehow won, you know.
Yeah, dude,
I won
IBJJF Worlds,
brown
dude.
belt somehow. And I came back. I was taken from a wheelchair out of the airport. Came home that Monday. Got my black belt Tuesday. Not training still. Like, there was a gap where I wasn't training at all, but I was competing. I was saving any energy that I had and, like, mobility for just the competition mats.
Yeah.
I would go and teach and show up, but I wasn't training live. I couldn't do it. So then, anyway, I did the Worlds, came back that Monday for the ceremony, got my black belt Tuesday, was in a wheelchair, flew out Wednesday, landed in Manaus, Brazil Wednesday night, spent all day spent the last few hours of Wednesday night, Thursday and Friday morning cutting 23 pounds, trying to train. I was in a sauna suit, like, you know, just hanging out in Ponta Negra, like walking back and forth, putting baby oil everywhere. The guys are having me like jump in and out of tires, like just trying to do anything I do to get this weight off for Copa Podio.
Yeah.
I made weight at 185 pounds. Then I went back. I was trying to hydrate, trying to eat. Nothing would stay in. I don't know if I started getting like kidney failure or whatever.
Jeez, bro.
Just throwing up real bad. I got pictures of IV bags like nailed to the wall. That's how ghetto it is down there.
Yeah.
Just getting fluid back into me. I was so sick before that event. Somehow when I got there, everyone's like, dude, don't do it. I talked to Tom DeBlas. I talked to other guys, you know, and they're like, man, I'm like, fuck it. I'm here. I'm going to do it. You know, I don't want to pull out. I don't want anyone to know. I wasn't putting it on Facebook, Instagram. Nobody knew this except people close to me.
Yeah.
Everybody thought I'm sharing a picture. Hey, made weight, great. And in the back of my head, I'm like, dude, I'm hurting. I'm dead. They have no idea what I'm going through. I still did the event that night. When I got to the arena, I just like came alive. It was all of a sudden like something really didn't hurt much anymore. I was still in pain, but not as much, you know? And I was just excited to be able to perform on that big stage. And I went against a guy, Diego Borges, who's a super, super accomplished black belt. He's beaten, just look up his name, he's beaten, like I said, Claudio Calasans. The list goes on and on and on. I did a no-gi match with him, and I lost. You know, I lost by decision, which is okay. I didn't get my ass whipped by any means, you know. I lost, and I was okay with it. You know, I wasn't like, I was down on myself at the night, just knowing like, man, if I didn't do it, nobody really knows like what I went through.
Yeah.
Like, I know I could beat him. I just, you know, blah, 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 blah. But I was super happy on one end that I did it still, like, and just got through all the bullshit before. And just in my mind was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. Like, and if I lose, only I know what really happened. And as long as I do a good performance, still have a good performance, I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
100%, bro.
And
I mean,
that's like,
I was in a similar mentality this weekend.
Yeah,
At Fuji.
Yeah, man. Like sometimes just we want to win and we want to make our team look good and but some of us compete for other reasons. My reason for competing, of course, that night was to win, but was also to be like, man, no matter what, like, I can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Test
Like I thought about that. It sounds corny, but like that was December 21st. Like I had my children's foundation 3 days later.
Yeah,
Worlds
bro.
was the 15th.
Bro, you're a machine,
was
21st.
I'm like, I can't let these kids down.
Yeah.
You know, we got a whole bunch of tickets. Some of the kids came for the children project. They've never been to any event like that. Like I gotta do. Like I competed for bigger reasons than just to have my hand raised.
Yeah,
of course I wanted my hand raised.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken when I lost.
Yeah,
but at the
of
same
course.
time, I had other victories in mind. So getting back to like when the students compete, that's kind of like what I meant. Like,
Yeah, man.
you know, of course we want to win, of course, but man, it sometimes if we lose, man, like the victory comes from other angles as well.
Yeah.
And that's especially for hobbyists. Sometimes there's dads who compete that work a 9 to 5, have 3 kids, can only train 3-4 days a week and suffer to do it at that.
Yeah.
Like for them, that victory was just getting prepared and getting on the mats.
Yeah.
Even though they lost,
test
man,
themselves,
they test
yeah.
themselves. That's a victory, man, for me. You know what I mean? Now, if you're that scrambly kid and is sharing on his event, oh, Naga, it's time for war. And man, you better win and you better be trying. You know what I'm saying? And you better be
100%.
training.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely,
So,
bro.
sometimes the victory comes from different angles, man. You know,
Man.
that's my philosophy. Many people might disagree. That's
100%.
fine. But that's, and I lived it. You know? I've always wanted to win, but there's sometimes I've been competing for different things to just be like, I'm doing this is for me, man. I'm doing it, you know? And that night it didn't work out so well.
Yeah. Nah, bro.
But,
I mean, it sounds like that whole chapter of your life, like you were just taking the weight of the world on your
It
shoulders.
was it, man. It was hard. There's a lot going on, man. There was a lot going on
crazy
between
shit,
the
man.
barbershops, you know, that we were just getting open, getting the Christmas foundation in, all the traveling the weeks before, the hospital visits, the weight cut, the injuries.
Yeah. And then
know,
you
I
just
still
got
made
your
it.
surgery this year, though.
Yeah, so
That's crazy, man.
I ended up leaving Brazil early because I was in so much pain still. Like I wasn't walking, I wasn't sleeping, you know. And then I usually stay in Brazil till like sometime in February or March. And I came home early. I'm like, man, you know, my girlfriend's home. I'm like, I can't do things. I canceled my second fishing trip. You know, I'm like, why am I here? Like I'm working at the barbershop, like helping build the brand. That was the real reason. I'm like, I'm coming home. I came home the end of January. I started seeing my doctors again. And I got new MRIs, which I just got in December before Worlds anyway.
Yeah.
I should have. No, like I said, now I was back to everything. I'm glad I did all of that stuff because I won some stuff, and then I did everything.
It worked out in the
I should have
end,
done the real surgery in January. I decided to hold off, and I started getting a lot of epidurals, and I started feeling great. So what do we do when we feel great, even though we're not supposed to? I started training again.
Hard, yeah.
So I started training again, even during this whole quarantine thing. We set up a bunch of mats in an auto garage in Tom's River. Not gonna say where.
Yeah.
And there was a whole big group of us training.
Yeah,
and
man.
guys would come from South Jersey, everywhere, and I'd be like, "Fuck it, man, we're training."
Yeah, bro.
You know? So
there were so many
most of
underground
us,
open mats, bro.
Everybody was training. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Academies were training. We were training, so we had our thing. And I started feeling really good, and my weight was coming back, and I was getting in shape, and like, dude, just one day, it only lasted like a month. You know, about a month into it, I'm rolling with Jesse Pugh. He's a big, strong brown belt, like an MMA guy, and I'm just rolling with him, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think Tatiana was there too. I just felt something like off, and I stopped the round, and I'm like, they're like, "You're right." I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. I feel something in my back. Like I just started getting this sharp pain, you know." And I was walking around, laying down, and then I just stopped, and then like 2-3 days after that, it all started all over again. The walking, the limping, like it got really bad.
The epidurals wore off. And
yeah,
shit.
man. Then I got more, so I got more epidurals. I got an updated MRI. So they did one round of epidural, And then they did the second one in 2 weeks right after. 2 weeks after that, nothing. I begged them to give me a third one. So they gave me the third one. So I had 3 epidurals within 5 weeks, and it fucking did nothing.
Oh, no.
Nothing at all. So I was just like walking, limping around, just waiting for the pain to go away somehow. I was trying to see a chiropractor. I was going to Thrive, doing some physical therapy, stuff like that, doing their inversion table. Nothing was working. And I just felt like I had like a mental breakdown. I'm like, it's time, man. It's time to try something different, because I've been dealing with this for years too. It just got really bad again last fall. About a year from now, actually. A year ago from today. So I went and saw a neurosurgeon, not a typical back surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this specialist, and he came in and he did his whole review, and he looked at all my stuff, and he's like, yeah, man, it's time. He's like, nothing is going to get better from here. Where my discs are herniated, they're just pushing on all the fucking nerves. Like, that's the pain. This is all nerve pain. He's like,
Yeah.
it's not. The back pain is what you've been dealing with for years, and you could probably continue to deal with it. But the nerves, nobody can deal with that.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to get it better. It's time to do the surgery, you know? And he was right. And I'm so glad he did.
Yeah.
I did it, because I should have stopped listening to people and just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it
gave
was
me
the
my
surgery?
life back.
You
know?
Did they, like, how did they fix it?
So I had I'm going to sabotage this problem.
Yeah, nah,
I
dude.
should know better.
Yeah.
I should know better. But I had a microdiscectomy. So they didn't fix my herniations. I really need a fusion. But with jiu-jitsu and all of that, we know a fusion's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
So even him, as much as he hates to do them, he's like, you need a fusion. He's like, but if you had a desk job or, you know, whatever, I would say do it in your case, because my discs, again, they're severely herniated. But he's like, you're an active 36-year-old guy. There's no way, man.
Yeah.
Definitely don't do it. You're going to make it worse, because I know you.
Yeah.
You're going to go do shit, and you're going to break the plates or break your vertebrae and either be paralyzed or be back here for me to fix it. So a microdiscectomy is he went in and he removed like a lot of the broken pieces of my discs that were pushing on my nerves. And he had degenerative disc disease as well. So they removed like a lot of the arthritis and some other stuff in there.
Yeah.
But one of the big issues that he noticed that no one else noticed, he's like, you're not even like a big guy. But my vertebrae are like 1.25 inches thick. And usually they're like 3/4 of an inch thick maximum, or even smaller. He said you see that more on like someone with like gigantism or something. You know what I mean? Like Andre the Giant.
Yeah,
or like,
elephantitis.
yeah, like that. Like, I'm a normal 5'9", you know, in shape, 185-pound guy. I'm not a big guy,
Yeah.
you know?
Not a giant.
Yeah, so I don't have I'm not massive anywhere, you know? But he's found that really weird. He's like, I've never seen a normal guy have vertebrae that big. So he filed them down a lot. And I don't know exactly what that's called, that procedure, but he grinded them down, the ones that are herniated, to like normal size. You know what I mean? To give my discs more space and to make more room on the inside so it doesn't like push on my spinal cord and stuff. So they had a microdiscectomy, and then he removed a lot of the arthritis and whatever comes with degenerative disc disease, and then filed all my vertebrae down. Yeah. And I feel like last week I started feeling a little back pain since I started training hard, a little. But I don't know. Now I feel great.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would contribute it to where like it has anything to do with my herniations versus just being sore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or anything like that. So I did
yeah.
get nervous. Like I was telling Tatiana, I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't hurt my back again.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm living this all over again. But I feel great now.
Yeah.
So
Do you do anything like yoga and shit to like kind of?
Yeah. So a
keep
big
on
part
top
of
it?
my healing, I can contribute to Amanda McCormick. She owns This Is Yoga, New Jersey. I started doing yoga maybe 5 weeks after surgery, something like that, which you're not supposed to do, like at all. But she was careful, and she did a little research, and she did a lot of research and helped me. And she's like, we're going to stay away from this, this, and this, because this is what you're not supposed to do. But long story short, she came up with a system, and we did it like 3 or 4 times a week for a little while. And I think I can contribute that a lot to my healing, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Absolutely. And it's funny because when I saw the doctor for my follow-up, he was cool as hell. As I told him, I'm like, man, to be honest, because I started boxing too, like hitting pads again.
Okay.
Just hitting pads.
Yeah, I thought you were fucking striking.
No,
bro.
no, not sparring, just
you're
hitting
a
pads.
goon, bro.
No, I was just hitting pads with Tim Cardoso and Nicholas Mota and Danny Murray and them.
Yeah.
Like a couple days a week too. And I started doing that at like 5 weeks after surgery because you're not supposed to twitch as with anything. But when I told the doctor everything I'm doing, he's like, while I disagree with 100% of what you just told me, and I would not recommend it to any of my patients, he's like, for you, it's clearly working. You know? He was really, really, really impressed with my recovery time. He said, like, within 30 years of practice, he's never had a patient be able to do what I did so fast. Ever. But it's not because I'm, like, Superman or anything, you know? I just think, like, I'm a big component of, like, when you're injured, when you're sick, like, don't rest too much. Like, I'm not saying day one, do something, but, like, be active, man. You know what I mean? When you're active, it gives you a reason, a body to heal and, like, move forward. You know what I mean?
100%, dude. Yeah, I think, like, I got knee surgery before.
Yeah.
And, like, this is my good knee now, just because of how much I, you know, rehabbed it and started taking the training seriously to get it good. And, yeah, man, what I see a lot of the times, and it's one of the another reason I wanted to kind of get out of the IT world, is like you see people getting carpal tunnel and they just put a brace on, but that starts to make shit weaker. You really need to like keep it mobilized and keep moving it. I think jiu-jitsu, and you know, except for like if I did shitty, you know, like trying to spot myself instead of doing a right break fall, I'll fuck my wrist up worse. And then like I started getting like some tendonitis, but dude, like having intentional movement in that stuff to try to help the healing process is huge, man.
I mean, I think at the same time, I think jiu-jitsu is huge for your body, for being mobile, you know what I mean? For gaining flexibility, for overall health and everything else. If you're just going to drill the techniques and do it and all that stuff, like, at the same time, I probably shouldn't say this, jiu-jitsu is brutal for your body. You know what I mean?
It's murder yoga.
It's really bad. You know, I don't think anyone could really disagree with that. When you're looking to compete or you're rolling live a lot, and if you're going over anything 50%, like, injuries are going to happen. It's not a brutal sport. Like, jiu-jitsu is for everyone, but it's also not for, like, the 70-year-old lady who called me earlier today. And she was asking about training. She's 69 years old. On my way here, she saw one of the signs. She called and asked, and I said, to be honest, I wouldn't say do jiu-jitsu. You know, I'd say come for cardio kickboxing, some Muay Thai striking, where it's not pad work, not really any contact. You know what I'm saying? You know, she was just worried, a little overweight, and I don't know. That's me. As many people will probably disagree, but you know, you'd have to have the right training partners for her. Be super careful, and just a matter of time. She does a scissor sweep, ankles point the wrong way, and breaks her foot. You know what I'm saying?
100%, bro.
They're way more brittle. If that happens to you or me, you know, we sprain our ankle. Her bones will break. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, now, if she was doing it already, she started at 55. You know,
or maybe she's like an athlete, like her whole life, and like
totally
this is a
different story. She told me she doesn't go to the gym, she doesn't work out, she's just looking to kind of get healthy.
Maybe
69-year-old woman who's never done anything physical, jiu-jitsu is not the place to start.
Not the place.
Again,
to
I might get a lot of hate comments, but coming from someone with a lot of injuries, that's my take on it. You know what I mean? I know we all see 70-something-year-old people even competing. There was that picture going around all over, like, Facebook after, I think, Pans or one of the IBJJF events like a week ago. It was like two 70-year-old ladies.
I saw that. They were both in like gray they're blue gis. They had blue gis
they're
on.
Blue belts. They did not start training like that age. I guarantee it. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And I bet you they did stuff before that. 70-year-old women, 60-year-old women don't just get up off the couch and watch martial arts or UFC and be like, I want to try that shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure, bro.
Put the knitting sweatshirt down and go hop on a mat. That doesn't work that way. I guarantee you they've been doing it a long time, or we're active athletes, something.
Beforehand,
you know what I mean? Gymnast, who knows? And like they can jump into it, you know? Now I know I'm going on a tangent, but
no, for sure, bro.
Jiu-jitsu is for everyone, but to an extent.
To an extent.
You know what I mean? It's bad on the body, dude. It's not good.
Definitely can be. So let me ask some just like off the hip questions here. If you could see any matchup between two competitors, who would they be? What's a fight you want to see?
Gordon and Galvao.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. That's the one that I want to see. I think everyone else.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
That's epic, man.
I don't know. That's the first one and like the only one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Or Gary Tonin versus anyone. You know, because
Yeah.
he's just the most exciting grappler I think that's ever lived. He can turn any match into a match. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And the dude just has no fear. He'll go against a little guy, his weight, big guys, Paulo Harris. You know, people found that crazy who didn't know him.
Absolute
you know, about
shit.
like, dude, why does he want to go against him? Like people who knew him were like, oh, you'll see.
You'll
why.
see.
You know, and nobody thought it was possible, and he showed like what jiu-jitsu's really about.
Yeah.
You know, like the little guy can take on the bigger guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do really fucking well.
Yeah.
You know, like I know it went to a draw because of Polaris rules, but he won that match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know, he dominated that match. He was on every attack.
Yeah.
He was non-stop pressure, positioning. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
match was awesome.
Yeah, especially with the weight disadvantage
Yeah,
disparity.
dude, he gave up 50 pounds.
Yeah.
What was Gary was, I don't know, 170, maybe 180, maybe 182. You know, maybe. Paulo Harris is 225, 230, 215. He had to be 220 something. You know, maybe even more.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they weighed him.
Yeah. I don't even know
So,
if they weighed him.
Yo. He's a
That's
big
awesome.
dude, man. How about you? What would you like to see?
Oh man, I was having this conversation the other day, and I think Craig Jones and Keith Krikorian would be a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
I
That'd
think
be back
so.
and forth for
But even
sure.
like locally,
Yeah.
like if I like just thinking of like recent people that I've been talking to and stuff,
Yeah.
I think I don't know if this match happened, but I know Andrew, my coach, and Renee Sosa were in the bracket
Okay.
at Fuji. They had like a late night tournament.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was an absolute thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they fought yet. Like, cause
Yeah.
like I went to bed last night, so I could be
Yeah,
here
yeah,
this
yeah.
morning. So I haven't been to the gym yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if they met in bracket. I saw Renee won, but I want
Gotcha.
if Andrew and him did not fight, I
Yeah.
want to see that
Yeah,
happen
yeah,
so
yeah.
bad. I think
Yeah,
that would be a
that'd
great fight.
fast-paced too, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Both of them are wild.
Yeah. The main reason why I want to see Gordon versus Galvao is because
Yeah.
I really think like Galvao is the only test for Gordon. I mean, there's a lot of guys that can test him.
Yeah.
I don't mean that, but let's be honest, like the real test.
They're both on the
you
cutting
know what
edge.
I mean?
Yeah.
That's actually still competitive. Like, could him and Hodger be a great match? Of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Hodger's like, if he beat Hodger, which he probably would, you know, everybody right away will say, oh, well, he don't compete. He hasn't competed in 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's older. Right away, no one will give him credit. Everyone will just hate, right?
Yeah.
You know? Like, Galvao's still active, man. He's still putting countless videos up of him, you know, rolling, getting his high-level guys ready,
Yeah.
doing his workouts. He looks the par like an athletic freak.
Yeah.
You know, he just dominated another super fight against Felipe, who beat Gordon twice. Granted, we all know that today would be a different story. I truly believe that, you know.
Yeah.
If anyone could give it to him, it's Galvao. You know, I think like if he makes that match happen, which I really hope it does, that just ends. There's nothing else to say.
Yeah,
man.
there's a lot
Especially
of
if,
debates or
if
squash.
Felipe finally takes the third match as well, when he smashes Felipe, there's literally nothing else anyone can say. The dude's the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But I really hope Galvao takes that match.
Yeah.
You know, I really, really, really hope so, because Gordon gets it. The only chance Galvao has is to do like what he did with Felipe a little bit, I think, like to somehow out-wrestle him.
Yeah.
Take him down, back to the feet, turn around and just outwork
Wear him
Gordon,
down
which
that
I
way,
don't
yeah.
think would happen. But if that did happen, I would be like, yeah, you know, that's the footprint. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you know, you can't sleep on Gordon's wrestling either,
Yeah,
or just
not
his
at
ability
all.
to make things happen and to get you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Galvao might get him down a time or two, but eventually Gordon will tie him up. And when he grabs people, I don't know if there was ever been a match that I can recall where once he had guys, they're able to just stand back up and wrestle. You know what I mean? Like once he gets you, it's kind of like a jiu-jitsu game.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
They're locked in and
yeah,
engaged.
that's it.
Yeah.
So like the question is like, could that happen with Galvao? If anyone could do it, I think it's him.
Yeah.
You know, he could get Gordon down, you know, muscle up to his feet, spin out, and then here we go again. Do you know what I'm saying? And just do it again and again for 30 minutes, you know? I don't think it would happen, but if anyone could make it happen, it would be Galvão. That's the only match that I find interesting. Other than that, he's pretty much beat everybody. You know what I mean? And he beat them pretty easily. So, like, you know, I wouldn't want to see him and Buchecha again.
Yeah.
You know, people say, like, that match was kind of close, which it was, but, like, Buchecha didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
He was just, like, on the defensive. He didn't really play jiu-jitsu, you know?
Yeah. I actually didn't even see that one. What was the result of that?
It was the finals in the Absolute, I think, in ADCC.
Oh,
was
shit.
His weight or no, it was the Absolute. Yeah. And let me take that back. It might have been his weight. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was the Absolute. Because then before that, Gordon beat Lachlan Giles, and then Buchecha was the finals. But if I have that backwards, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good match, and Gordon won, I think, by points. Definitely by points. He didn't submit him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good match. But Buchecha didn't do much, man. He just like stayed away from jiu-jitsu. The best part was, you have to watch it now, man.
Yeah.
The best part was, like, at one point, I don't remember exactly how, but Buchecha sat back for like a leg lock and just like made eye contact with Gordon, and Gordon literally like put his hands up and started laughing. You know what I mean? And I think they like fist bumped and got back to it. Like, Gordon was like, dude, come on, you really think you're gonna leg lock me? You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Like, just
that
part alone, forget about the points, forget about everything that'll happen. That part alone shows like how dominant he was in that match.
Yeah.
Because like someone grabbed his leg, one of the best grapplers ever, Buchecha, and is like, Gordon still looked at him like, dude, not a chance. You know, you have to watch it, dude. You'll laugh. You're like, that alone showed like how fearless the guy was. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Or how much on another level he was.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it on YouTube?
Oh yeah, you can find
fuck
it.
Yeah. I'll recap.
Yeah, well, you remember this conversation? You're like, oh, dude, that just happened. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I mean, even his last match against Mateus, you know, did you see that?
No, I actually haven't.
He had him in a heel hook position at the end, had every opportunity to literally destroy the guy's knee, and just kind of looked at him, the ref. I think there was a little bit of confusion or whatever, but then the ref looked, and like he just like looked at Mateus like, dude, are we done? Mateus just tapped.
Yeah.
Not from really the full cranking of the submission.
He just like, look, I'm locked in,
like,
bro.
dude, it's over.
Yeah.
You know, do you really want me to break this shit, or do you want to tap? Like, that alone, that was a huge step. For anyone who didn't respect him before, even Gordon, like, respect him more now after that.
Yeah.
Like, if that was Tex Johnson, he would have
literally
literally destroyed Mateus's knee.
Yeah.
And not that he shouldn't have. I'm not trying to make it sound bad against Tex. It's just a name that came to mind. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if that was Paul Harris or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyone else would have took the guy's leg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't. You know, he had the opportunity to literally destroy his leg and just like, dude, are we done? And Mateus tapped and shook hands and back up. You know?
No, that's cordial, man. I think that's definitely something that you find in jiu-jitsu more than even like any like non-combat sports. There's so much like deep-rooted just like respect in this that like you don't even get in like basketball or something like that. You know, that's something that's huge, like a worldwide or like a America-wide thing.
Yeah.
That's just a huge focal point.
Man, this sport, there's not many sports I think where you can like, you know, hug before, shake hands, whatever. You know, we're not knocking each other's teeth out, so take that aspect out of it. But we're like, you know, this is combat.
Yeah.
You know, anyone who says that, they don't know what they're talking about. It's still combat, even though you're not knocking teeth out. It's combat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're trying to strangle each other to
Yeah,
death.
and you can, and you can clearly win and admit. If I was going against you and I got you in a rear naked choke, and immediately after, you can mentally admit like, this dude technically just killed me. Yeah. But it's all love. Shake hands, smile, pat each other's back, you know, watch the other guy's hand get raised, and there's no love lost. You can't find that in other sports, like you said. Yeah. You know what I mean? Very rarely is there like aggression after a match. Yeah. Even before. And even when it's before, I hate it. It's so corny. Yeah. I want to be like, dude, this is not a UFC title fight. Yeah. Like, for real. You know what I mean? Like, put that stuff aside, man. This is jiu-jitsu. This should be it should be about love. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're not knocking each other's teeth out. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
this
know?
is supposed to be civil.
Yeah, man, and it should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like a ESPN boxing conference where we're throwing fists before.
Yeah.
Like
For
the dudes
real.
weighing for jiu-jitsu and they're like nose to nose, forehead to forehead. I'm like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
This is a jiu-jitsu match, man. If you want that, intensity, go do MMA.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're making yourself look stupid. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
No, I feel you,
know?
dude.
So I
feel
think
you.
most people feel the same way. You know, it's different, man.
Yeah. All right. So, if you could get a rematch with anybody, who would it be?
Diego Borges.
Okay.
Answer that absolutely immediately. The
That's
guy I went
awesome.
against in Copapodio.
That's awesome.
Because no discredit to him, he's a world-class black belt.
Yeah. Who's defeated champions?
He was a black belt pretty much longer than I've been training almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He defeated some of the biggest names in jiu-jitsu. And hats off to him. He beat me fair and square. I mean it when I said it in that Facebook post. You know, right before the match, I felt like the best I ever felt. Somehow it just clicked, adrenaline, and I'm like, big stage, I'm ready to go. And my head went up my ass, and I don't know, it didn't work out in my favor. But it's only jiu-jitsu, so it's stupid to be like, oh, I know I could beat him. But I do. I know I
Yeah.
could beat him. I would love to get that one back.
Another chance,
and
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure when I win this Copapodio match coming up on November 7th, and I'm going to win in some kind of spectacular fashion. I'm really hoping. I want to make a statement.
Yeah.
I don't even care about the Grand Prix. I want to ask for a rematch.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I truly do. That's actually my plan. It's cool. It would be an honor to be in a middleweight Grand Prix and go against some of the biggest names in jiu-jitsu, especially at my age and my caliber.
Yeah.
You know? I know they'll have guys like Herbert Santos and other guys probably in the middleweight Grand Prix, so that would be amazing. But for me, I could care less. I would rather have a rematch with Diego Borges.
Yeah.
That would be the goal.
That's
Yeah,
epic.
because I know we both of us. I mean, you know, like I couldn't move the way that I wanted to, and I have real medical reasons why, and it's not an excuse, man. He beat me the best I can, but I know it'd be good for both of us because he if I'm pushing the pace, he could push the pace more.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would dominate, but we could put on a better show even for the fans. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it'd be good for both of us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Because he doesn't know what I went through. Like I said, I never.
Yeah.
I didn't put it all over. I didn't make a crying excuse. You could read. I put one post, man, and it was pictures of him in victory. You know, you could read it. I didn't make a million excuses. I didn't nothing. I thanked my partners. I thanked him, and that was it, man. But at the end of the day, I know I could do better.
Yeah.
So that would be a goal, man. I'd be happy with that. I don't need another world title. I don't need anything. I just want to get that one back, or at least know that he beat the real me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd be okay with that, too. If I train hard and I put everything in and then he still beat the best guy there
Version,
is, then,
yeah,
dude, I'm
you're
happy with that, too.
satisfied,
Yeah,
yeah.
man, I would be. Of course I want the victory.
Yeah.
But I want to be more satisfied in my match.
Yeah.
You know? Again, I'm happy to take it. I'm happy I took it like we spoke about earlier, and I won for other reasons in my mind.
Yeah.
But the real win would be the victory, and or at least know that he beat the real me.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could all make excuses, but I got a few real ones. I got the scars to prove it, man. The hospital bills to fucking prove it the week before, you know what I mean? So,
Hell yeah, man.
that's all. It would be fun, man.
That's
I'd love to
epic.
do that one again. So,
Is there anyone you haven't fought yet that you'd like to fight?
honestly, no. If there was, it would come to my mind.
Yeah.
You know?
You've been answering them back
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
I can
No,
tell
no,
you.
man.
You know.
I never look at jiu-jitsu that way. Like, I mean, I mean it, man. When Jefferson sent me the name of my opponent, I didn't look on YouTube. I swear to God, man, I didn't look on anything. The only reason I looked on Instagram was to send his name to Jay. I didn't watch a video. I didn't nothing. And I took one screenshot of the picture because I had to send it to Tatiana because I was trying to get my weight down because I gained some weight from surgery. But then I'm like, oh, now I don't have to cut as much weight. So, but I'm like, look at the size of this guy. I'm like, if anything, Tatiana helps me with my diet and my nutrition. I could put on some muscle, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's
definitely.
why I did that. But other than that, it's just, excuse me, this is
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, man. Like, I don't really, at least at my level, there's no, I don't find an advantage to like sit and research an opponent and do all this and that because
Yeah.
when we step foot out there, it's going to end differently anyway. Like, of course, it's cool to know if like the guy just hunts legs every time. Like, all right, I want to know. So then maybe I train to stay away from him a little bit, or at least know what I'm potentially getting into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not like an MMA fight, like where you got to see like where the guy's giving you openings, you know, where he's lazy on his shots, on his punches, where he drops his hands. That's different. Jiu-jitsu, it's not like that, man. So, I'll do any match against any. I really don't care. You know, I'm not gonna study tape much or anything like that. Or I'll leave it to Professor J to help me. You know what I mean? And just say, hey, this guy does this. Just work on this.
Yeah.
You know? But when we go out there, you know, man, it's
your
totally
game versus
different.
their game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, just because he did the same thing in 25 other things doesn't mean he's gonna do it today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like what you're saying too. You know, like once you get to the mat, it's your game versus them.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like it's interesting because you know, like I'm a blue belt and I just did this Fuji comp at blue belt level, and like it's crazy because when I was a white belt, blue belts could heel hook.
Yeah.
But now you can't like anywhere. And it sucks because, like, that's been a lot of my game, you know, training with, you know, like Matt DeVory and Rob Deagle.
Yeah.
And, like, just the fucking, those Henzo guys are fucking killers when it comes to legs. Yeah. And that's just where I've been, like, coronavirus is just, that's, you know, the quarantine's been good to me in that way. Like, my leg game is significant now. So then, like, I was like, damn, how am I going to get this? Yeah. And I, you know, the one submission that I got this weekend was a guillotine. Like, it was like, go back to the basics. It's so funny because Pat, actually, my coach, he's even said, like, I remember rolling with him and I almost got him with a straight ankle. Almost. Yeah. And I was just asking him after the roll because I had the comp coming up. I'm like, you know, do you have any advice? Like, just vibe my roll. Like, can you point anything out? He's like, yeah, man, like, you're doing good here and here, but you know, just go back to the basics. Yeah. Like, that's the one thing if I was going to say, like, just don't forget your basics.
Yeah, man. Not to talk about, like, just my game, right? But real quick, like I said, my jiu-jitsu game has changed a lot. And it's changing right now as we speak. Not just because John is around and I'm picking his brain nonstop. And the things that he does is so technical and so different. I want to learn all of them. I can't move the way that I want to, though. Yeah. You know, my knee, most people don't understand what it's like to not have an MCL, to not have a meniscus. You know, like, when you see me walk and you see me roll, you would never know it. I'm telling you, you would never know it. But I make a lot of adjustments, like, even when I'm warming, like, trying to do sprints and things. If you really pay attention to me, you see I move differently. The way I plant off my left knee. Even when I'm sitting down, I can't stay on my left knee longer at all. It's always elevated.
That's
Other people
crazy.
try to show techniques and like, you got to have your knee down. I'm like, motherfucker, you know what it's like to have a destroyed knee. There's a reason why I'm not putting my knee down or I'm not stepping up certain ways. I have to worry about, you know, if I'm getting in heel hooks in this leg, it's a problem, man. Yeah. I'm tapping before because, dude, I have a life outside of jiu-jitsu too. Like, I don't want to be tied up again.
That's a huge thing
was
too. I was so concerned. I used to be so concerned about, like, because, like, I like don't have the best knees myself. But I used to be so concerned, and it's such a big thing in jiu-jitsu, like with anything, but like specifically leg locks, is you having like partners you can trust. Like you were just saying, like where Gordon was like, "Yo, do you want me to break this or not?" It's like, bro, like, get to the position and like make eye contact. And usually, like, that's enough.
Man, and that's it. You know. Yeah. But like my game has changed again, and I'm getting back to a lot of the basics with mixing in a lot of things, but like control, pressure, smash, pass, like slow, technical, like a lot of basic shit. Yeah, like I'm not looking to reinvent the wheel anymore. You're not gonna see me doing barambolos and all this shit ever. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna happen. You know, like, you know, we all have certain games. You know what I mean? And I had to reinvent my whole jiu-jitsu game just to be able to continue to train, you know what I mean? And especially to compete, you know, like I can't do the things that I used to do, and I can't do the things that I want to do, you know what I mean? But I make it work, you know, and I'm going to continue to make it work, you know? So.
Oh yeah, man.
I forget how we got to that point, but I'm trying to remember.
No, we just kind of went on a tangent. Well, that's awesome, man. Like, we definitely been here for a couple hours. We could probably start closing up here. Are there any sentiments you kind of want to throw out there? Any shout-outs you want to give? Want to let everyone know how they can find Studio 84?
Man, so you could find us on on Instagram. I think it's it's listed at the bottom of the screen,
Yeah, it's
right?
it's all the information's in the
So
description,
if you guys
of course.
can, definitely give us a follow. I'm big on, open house, cross training, stuff like that. So anybody that wants to come in and train, man, shoot us a message. And if you want to try one of the pro practices or something, we'll have you sign a waiver, of course. You know what I mean? But anybody that wants to come in and train, just hit us up. I love the cross training. I love getting people. We've had so many people from different schools already come in and train. You know what I mean? It helps us all get better.
Yeah.
So look us up, give us a follow. We're gonna start putting up like weekly techniques or techniques
that's
like
awesome.
twice a week, man. So sharing some of my knowledge, some of the things that I do differently with some people. John Combs gonna be doing it as well. As far as thank you, shout outs, I really don't have many that come to mind.
You've given
other
plenty
than
during
obviously
the
my
cast,
students,
yeah.
my training partners. A big thanks to Tom DeBlas, the DeBlas Association. John Danaher's a no, but thank you, Danaher, for all your DVDs and all your other stuff. You probably get those every day. Thanks to John Combs, man, for coming out. He's going to be here for a while. He's staying at my house, and I'm pretty sure most people listening know who he is. You know who he is. He's a super high-level jiu-jitsu competitor. He's been in ADCC, still active, and he's on a mission, man, to become one of the best grapplers to ever do it. And I think he's on his way there. His progression just recently, within the past year, 6 months, he's twice the grappler that he was, and he's only going to be continuing to get better and better. Now that he's here, he's training in the city as well, with Nicky Rod, with Gordon and them, and then Nicky Rod's been coming here, training with us here as well.
Damn, dude, yeah. You have some world-class talent coming in, yeah.
So definitely special thanks to him. I'm looking forward to training with him, continue training every day, getting my game better. Big thanks to Professor J. Don't have time to get into the specifics now, but he's a big part of also. He's equally, honestly, as important. As important to Studio84 as myself, man. I tell him every day in messages, man, like this stuff isn't possible without you. He's helped in the background a lot more than what people think. Not with the construction, the planning, and none of that stuff, but in areas just for me mentally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting this thing off of the ground, things that, he's helped in ways that people, wouldn't understand. But he's helped my mind, my heart, my drive, keeping me focused. Jay Regalbuttle, man, he's the man. Like, he's like a brother to me, a father figure, whatever. I know that sounds corny, but Jay's the man.
No doubt, bro.
Huge thanks to him, man. If anything, this is half his place and half mine. You know what I mean? So, and John as well, man. John, I tell John this is his home as well. And he knows that.
I definitely got to come next time you guys have an open mat. I'm definitely going to have to drop by, bro.
Yeah, man. So the pro comp classes are Wednesday night at 6:30 and Saturday mornings at 10.
6:30 p.m.?
6:30 p.m., yeah, Wednesday night. And Saturdays at 10. Again, we have a shower here for you guys that are traveling. We got the bar. Dude. You could sit, after we're done. It's not like, oh, get out, go or whatever. And we train till 10 o'clock at night. So for you guys that want to come make the trip, it starts at 6:30 sharp. Don't be the people that come at 6:45. We want to get in. We don't want to be distracted or anything.
Guys trying to skip the warm-ups and shit.
And that's the other thing, too. Not to get another thing. We don't do the warm-up. You warm up before class.
Yeah,
if you need to do your cartwheels or jumping jacks and all that other bullshit, do it before class. We're not, when we start at 6:30, we get right into instruction. That's why we're all here.
Yeah.
If you need me to come teach you cartwheels, or not cartwheels, like you call that, jumping jacks and all that other stuff, you're in the wrong place. You know what I mean? Like, come here so we could all get better. So stretch, do your yoga, do your thing before 6:30 here.
Yeah.
And then we get right into instruction. And then we can stay 9, 10 o'clock at night, man. We stay late.
Yeah.
You take the class. There's a lot of drilling, a lot of positional rolling, and then all 5-10 minute rounds. Some guys do 30 minutes straight. You know what I mean? Afterwards, that's what I like.
Yeah.
So that's Wednesday nights, and then Saturday's the same thing, man. And a lot of times people will shower, go grab something to eat afterwards. Make the day out of it. So we do have a seminar this Saturday, the Ethan Kreilstein seminar. Anybody who wants to come to that, just shoot me a message. That's going to be a good day. A lot of training afterwards and stuff as well. So we'll do 2 hours of real solid technique, obviously. And then or an hour and a half, something like that, and then a lot of rolls after that as well. So that's it, man. I think
Hell
that's
yeah,
all I
man.
got.
All right, bro. Thanks for having me.
No, man. Thank you very much, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
It's a pleasure.
Good? All right.